Hello, everybody. Hello, hi. Yeah, Jimmy, I have a theme song. What about it?
Mine are better.
Absolutely not. Not even.
I'm just saying.
Not even slightly.
Everybody would agree.
Welcome to Jovan After Dark, where everything is the same except the sun's not out. We got Jimmy with us today for our After Dark stream. Everybody say hi to Jimmy.
I'm putting in, I've got a bunch of work to do this weekend. The goal is on January 1st, everything behind me is going to change and people are going to be impressed. And how not sound isolated your places is going to become like so contrasted. Like it's going to, I'm going to shame you.
So someone fucking send me what soundproofing to put on these fucking walls. Someone send me a link and I will buy them. I can't build my own. So if someone sends me a goddamn link, I'll get them.
I can show you. Here's one of the, I'm going to grab one of the small ones. This is a tiny version of the things that
while Jimmy gets that, yo, shout out to Pillow, King Puff, and Melly Bun for being the first in chat today on Twitch.
Built this. It's flannel, and then I've got other ones that are denim.
Yeah, I don't have any of that. I just got to buy something off of Amazon. So if someone sends me an Amazon link, easy, breezy, beautiful. Cover girl. I didn't ask anybody who was screening tonight. So, oops. Let me find out.
I'm a cheapskate, so I like building my own stuff because if there are some things like with woodworking, building your own stuff is not actually cheaper. It's just more custom, and you get the experience of doing it. But with like sound panels that are less effective and less custom than mine cost like 4 times as much because you buy them from other people.
Well, I need them. So at this point, I just need someone to be like, Jovan, these ones will do enough sound dampening and then we're good to go.
You got the lady voice. I saw the default man. On
my call in studio?
Yeah.
Yeah. What am I, gay? I don't want to hear no dude. Welcome into stream, everybody. Welcome. If you're watching on YouTube, hey, hello, how are you? If you're watching on Twitch, hey, hello, how are you? If you're on Jimmy's YouTube, gross.
I see them. Got some friends in there. Jacka's in there. Kim's in there. Hey, everybody. What's the phone number?
Phone number is 219-327-8005, everybody. 219-327-8005. I actually want to fix something on Jimmy's screen because he is too hanging off the screen on the vertical, and I don't like it. I know what to do.
You need me to do something?
No. I just need to give it a little croppy crop. It's not croppy cropping. Wait, no. What?
Should we tell everybody the changes we're making on my channel in the upcoming week to schedules?
Probably should.
So starting this, well, actually, I don't even know if it's this Sunday. I would have to talk to her, but Sundays are now going to be myself and Ari Mermaid, who you all may have met. And then that'll be from 4 to 7. Jovan and I are actually going to stick to more evening streams in the future. And I think we're going to regularly do Tuesday after Chewed Gum. And then, just as the spirit inspires us to do more, we'll do even more.
Yeah, I know that Jimmy has a lag. I don't know how to, I think I know. I think I could fix that with a video delay, but like, I don't know how deep your lag is.
That lag is deep.
How deep does it go?
How deep it is to be lagged by you.
You guys want to hear what our topics are today? Topic number 1, Trump is a joke of a president. Topic number 2, trans men and women are men and women. Topic number 3, Christianity is an untrue religion. That's where I found, I think, gets the best callers that are calling in for what I want to talk about. Which is the shit in the Bible true or not? Number 4, gender affirming care for minors. This one's going to be on the board for a little bit because of the House bill that just got passed yesterday, in which Republicans decided to make it illegal federally to give gender affirming care to minor patients. And then number 5 is Republicans have terrible policies. But we'll also talk about the Epstein files a little bit because, man, wasn't it cool that a couple of black pieces of paper got released?
I'm just relieved to see anything black come out of the Trump administration.
I don't want black things to come out of the Trump administration.
Well, that's your selfishness. You remember when one of the most renowned, technically, I mean, I'm not fond, but one of the most renowned doctors, neurosurgeons in the world went to work. A person who was one of the only people to separate conjoined twins at the head went to work in Trump's cabinet. And because he was black, instead of Surgeon General, he was made the head of Housing and Urban Development. Anyway,
one of the greatest things to ever happen.
The Epstein files, not all released. First of all, and by the way, this mug will soon be available, though it's modified. They sent me the wrong design. They sent me the draft design. It now has the Jeremiah above, and then the bottom says, "Don't play hide and seek with Jesus." You'll be able to buy this mug very soon.
My mug's not here, but it is going to be the bestseller in my. If it gets the proper promotion, it's going to be the bestseller. It's the funniest of all the mugs.
You will be the one promoting it. So
it's the funniest mug.
I hope you do it. I like it, but never play hide and seek with Jesus. And a verse that basically says that's pretty good. I'm just saying. Apparently,
they already still found proof in the files that got out that has him in them. I can't wait to read it. Jimmy, do me a favor. Clap. I'm gonna see if I can't figure out how deep the delay is.
Let me say clap, 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 clap your hands. Clap, 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 clap your hands.
I gotta wait for the video to catch up.
Now everybody go to work. Freeze! Everybody clap your hands. Chop, 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 chop.
Damn, I think the delay might be too. I'm gonna try just 1 second delay on the video and see if that fixes it, but I have a feeling. What is this?
You should switch to Zoom as your intermediary.
Did we have any delay with Zoom? Well, but I don't use. Oh, well, it's because of my wavelength is the reason that we have a delay. Because the audio is coming in through the wavelength, not through your video source. That's why your video source is there, and then the audio goes to the wavelength and comes back into Zoom or into vMix. So that's why.
I get it.
Well,
everybody.
Jimmy's gonna have a delay next week. I'll try to do the Zoom and see if that fixes the delay. But I think if I'm still pumping out your audio source to wavelength, it's gonna still. Wait. Isn't there an audio delay?
I don't know.
Don't I have the ability to do an audio delay on a specific video?
What?
No, but the video needs to be delayed. Asked. Don't worry about it. Call in if you disagree with us, guys. 219-327-8005. We're here to talk to MAGA, the frustratingly ugly, the low-skilled, the zero-tiered MAGA on any of the topics.
Please send super chats. I just spent $500 on our call system for I think the third time this month. I think we did a bunch of call-in. I don't know what happened. All I know is the call system that we use, I'm putting their kid through college. That's what I know.
I spend essentially $35 a day because I get a recharge literally every stream. So essentially,
I always do it 500 at a time to get the maximum bonus credit because they give you a 10% bonus if you buy $500 at a time.
I should probably do something like that, but I don't have $500. So it just will do the.
It's crazy though.
Yeah, that's how much my call thing takes up.
I think that can't be correct.
Well, it's not that I spend
25 a day.
It hits because right now when I started today, it was at 25. So it's gonna hit 15 and then auto add 35 before the stream is over.
Okay.
And so then we'll use up whatever from that, and then tomorrow or whenever I stream next, we'll do the same thing. When I usually get paid my big YouTube check, then I'll front load it with a bunch of credits, but it's not YouTube check time.
Dude, these files are so fucking redacted. They are first of all, let's not.
And you mean actually redacted though this time, right?
Yeah. I know it's real right now. For a little while, it won't be clear when I'm using my alternate slur. But yeah, there. For the record, people, some pretty intense amount of law breaking here. There was no start releasing the files as of this day. The complete file release was supposed to be as of this day, and beyond that, the law says that it has to be a searchable archive. And right now, the search function on this archive doesn't work either. They seem to be trying to inundate it also with like a lot of, they're clearly trying to make it harder. And they started the redacting process back in March. So any excuses they have.
Yeah, they put in, what was it, like 2,000 overtime hours redacting these files?
Yeah,
it was something insane.
And we know FBI people have been saying they've been
the American people spent so much money getting Trump's name out of the files. If anybody has any links to like interesting things in the files, obviously me and Jimmy can't go through all of them right now. Post them in my Discord server if you're in the Red Mirror Media Discord server, and like tag me so that I can pull up anything interesting.
By the way, please get a profile photo for your special Discord for your host or whatever, because I am constantly trying to figure out where it is in my list of. I hate how many servers I'm in. Meg, I will ask Luthien about the book. If it's a fiction book, not to like be that guy. I just don't read a lot of fiction. It doesn't interest me very much. Usually, every now and then.
I will. The profile picture for it will be a picture of my unclenched butthole.
Let's not do that. I would rather a chat GPT make us a picture of anything than that.
Gross.
I know.
Although speaking of like the AI shit,
there, by the way,
chewed gum. Or who? Or no, who was live? No, it was
Forrest and Lux are doing a show. I guess
I doubt it.
They've got Andrew from New Jersey on right now.
Andrew from New Jersey. That's crazy.
We're competing with the line. I don't even know. Sorry, the line.
It's fine.
Sorry. Let's make sure. Hey, redirect your audience to me when it's done. I'm gonna write that to Luxander. Let's see. Okay, shut the fuck up. Hey, are you producing? ? If so, will you set up redirect to my stream with Jovan when you are done?
Whoa.
Hey, my autocorrect knows Jovan now.
Took it long enough.
That's good. Yeah, dude, it was literally like, you know what it would always do is SHIOBHAN, I think, however Siobhan is spelled, that weird way that name is spelled, which is honestly one of the coolest names.
If Sienna's, if you're in the server, just post it in general and just at me. If you're in the server but you're not like able to get in because you're not one of the paid supporters, open up a ticket and just drop me the links to whatever you guys are finding in the tickets, so we can take a look. It's just like there's other people have already gone through the Epstein files. Well, some of these new ones. I ain't got the energy. I was going through the last ones, and there's also half of them are in court documents, which are so annoying to read.
Yeah, and then there's also just random shit. Like apparently there's just a folder called Clouds, and so we have all of the pictures of clouds that Jeffrey Epstein took, I guess. Like,
Clouds.
Yeah, thank goodness. Wouldn't it be funny if I could steal calls from that show? You literally just yoink them over to ours. I wouldn't do that.
Who would you take though? Andrew from New Jersey? No thanks.
Yeah. No, not one person has left a voicemail at 386 atheist yet.
Oh, that's too bad.
I know. Guys.
Jovan, how are you so sexy? Guys, I'm a 4 at best.
Guys. That's what we call phishing, because now the live chat is going to increase our algorithm by arguing with you about your score.
We can argue with your mama. That's so y'all can argue it with your mama.
My mom would just say something stupid like, she'd say anything she wanted to, and then as soon as you rebut, she would go, well, now you're just being very negative. And then she would go to another.
Is your mom British?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, look
My
at that.
mom's a Brit, my dad's a New Yorker, and this is what you get out of that. And they're probably cousins. I don't know. By the way, oh my God, my life got rocked this last week. 23andMe, have you ever done that?
No, I'm not giving some company my genetic material.
Okay, I get it. But I did years ago, and they just had an update where they reassessed the data. I lost my Judaism. I'm no longer Jewish, apparently. They took away,
so
I'm not even
fucking
joking, they took away, and I can, like, I feel like at some point someone's going to say I'm lying or something. So I've got the screenshots of the old and the new if I ever need to. But they took away, I used to be Ashkenazi Jewish, and now apparently I'm actually Nordic, which makes me more of a white supremacist wet dream, and I intend to use that power to keep advocating for black trans women. Like everything they hate.
I just checked on my mug. It'll get here the day before Christmas.
Good, good.
So I can't wait for everybody to see the best of all of the mugs.
The best one.
It's the best
I gotta
one.
go get my groceries in. My groceries are late. While we wait for a call to come in, I gotta go bring my Costco order in.
All right, listen, guys. Don't be scaredy boo boo poo poo pants. If you're a Republican, listen. Okay, let's start saying all of these. I want unlimited immigration. I want trans shots for all children. I think not only should gay people get married, but gay people should be the only people allowed to raise children. We think that's going to get them? Do we think that'll spruce them up? What do you think, chat? Jovan is a solid 10 for most no-weddie set. What the fuck is that? Sorry. Okay, you win. I'm not woke enough. Anyone caught being straight will be turned into the woke BI. Not only pride flags in schools, there will be a pride flag on every gun in the military.
Liz Chris says both hosts are 8.
Said what?
8s. Both hosts are 8s. Not you had said you were a 4. Liz Chris thinks we're 8s. Also said I'm the worst boss competing with my employees. That's true. I told Lexander the other day my end game for our channel. I'm going to send it to you real quick.
Okay.
Don't repeat it. I don't want people to know.
I'll say it out loud. I'm just
But you can react to it. You can react to what you think of this as an idea. This will mean we need to basically at least double, if not triple, our staff. And we'll need to employ some Europeans. Potentially.
Good luck with that.
I was thinking like, dude, that would be the way though.
I think you could probably do like half of that fairly easily. You take over. I think I'm being beckoned.
Having a studio and everybody working there. Oh, all right. Let me finish munching. Oh, 4 out of 5. That's. Yeah, I lost all crumbs of something interesting. Someone mentioned they wished they wanted a crumb of something interesting in their DNA, and I lost all of mine. Let me go pull it up again. Hey, people, you should call in if you think you can compete. If you think you can debate with Jovan and I. If you think you can beat us in debate. If you are MAGA, you should call in. If you are a Christian, you are a Muslim, you believe in any of those very, very silly religions, and they are very, very silly. besides being harmful, they are straight up silly. Every now and then I'll just have these moments of almost crisis where I'll be doing something and then I'll just be flooded with a fact. So a lot of times the fact I get flooded with is I'll wake up in a cold sweat and just be like, we elected Donald Trump. Like, Donald Trump is the president. That's crazy. And sometimes I get flooded with the fact, I was peeing the other day the last time I remember it happened, where I was peeing and I was like, bro, most of the world literally believes in magic. Like, they either believe in Christianity or Islam, Judaism, Hinduism. Those are the big ones. And then even the people who don't, like ghosts, astrology, psychics. It's just very disappointing, Clarice. Do not give away this security code. Do not share this code. Oh, and I'm sorry, people. Astrology is bullshit. Astrology is not only is it bullshit, it's also not harmless bullshit. It is in fact harmful bullshit. I fucking hate the like people are just having fun people. I got into it a little bit on Threads with somebody who's a Mormon who's also into astrology and had to point out to them that
all right, I got a piece of
church handbook.
I got a piece of file that's crazy.
What'd you get?
This might have already dropped, but I hadn't read this yet, so I'm going to read it to you. This comes from the file case 120 CV 00484, document 1, filed 11720, page, the end of page 3 going into page 4. Starts at line 16. While these visits made Doe, now Jane Doe that they're talking about is a 14-year-old girl. Just keep that in mind. While these visits made Doe extremely uncomfortable, Epstein and Maxwell made her feel she could not refuse them. During this time, Epstein started to pay for voice lessons for Doe and insist that Doe could not advance her career in any way without him. When Doe expressed hesitation about spending time with Epstein and Maxwell or acquiescing to their desires, Epstein and Maxwell would threaten Doe and scold her for being ungrateful. During one of Doe's encounters with Epstein, he took her to Mar-a-Lago, where he introduced her to its owner, Donald J. Trump. Introducing 14-year-old Doe to Donald J. Trump, Epstein elbowed Trump playfully, asking him, referring to Doe, "This is a good one, right?" Trump smiled and nodded in agreement. They both chuckled, and Doe felt uncomfortable, but at that time was too young to understand why. So there's one little piece.
And just imagine, like, that's the stuff they forgot to redact.
Yeah. Hold on, my headphone cord is stuck under my chair. Here we go.
Specifically Icelandic. I'm Icelandic. I'm so uninteresting.
So at least we know Trump met a 14-year-old. Kind of makes sense with everything else we know about the man. I'm going to see what else might have leaked while we keep going.
It does seem like there's so much stuff where it's like, I won't be surprised if we never, ever see evidence that Donald Trump himself did something with an underage person, whether he did or didn't. I don't think we'll ever see evidence that he did. I do think it will be unavoidable. I do think we will see evidence that Donald Trump was very aware that Epstein. I think it will be clear. I think it's.
Yeah, but he's already
so
said he
large.
knows. He's already said he knows, and that he was an FBI informant. That's his excuse.
Well, that was what then Homeboy said, and they had to walk it back. What's his name? Mike Johnson.
Mike Johnson.
Yeah, and then they had to walk it back.
Which, did you see a bunch of Republicans break from his ranks and be like, yeah, no, we're going to vote for the subsidies. Fuck you.
Finally, dude, like allegedly Marjorie's going to try and get a recall vote, get him out of the speakership right before she leaves, which is like, Marjorie, you still suck. You're still a Project 2025 shill garbage human, but
I don't know. She
Can't say I'm not
got a
enjoying
lot of the
watching.
MAGA base happy with her on the Epstein shit because she was unabashedly like, no, fucking release the goddamn files.
It's a Democrat hoax. It's a hoax.
I am not a crook.
Where's the best place? Where's the best place to? We do have a call.
Yep. We do. All right, guys, let's bring up our first guest
Fucking
today.
God damn it! Of course.
What did you do? Like chip a tooth or something? Welcome in,
I'm
Otto.
looking at the call topic. Hey,
Oh yeah, not really one of Jimmy's topics. Otto.
No, it is. It's just we're talking about the Epstein files, and this is all they ever want to talk about because they have nothing else.
Yeah. Otto wants to talk about gender affirming care for minors. Feels that minors are too young to make decisions. So let's find out. Otto, if you can hear me, please provide me your age and pronouns.
21, he, him.
Okay. Now, Otto, you believe minors are too young to be making decisions about gender affirming care. Do you agree with the House in passing the House bill yesterday that criminalizes gender affirming care for parents and doctors?
I'm sorry, can you please repeat that?
Do you agree with the House that they just passed a bill in the House last night that would, if passed through the Senate and passed through Trump, would criminalize gender affirming care with up to 10 years for doctors and parents who provide that care? Do you agree with this?
I'm in support. Yes, I do agree.
You are in support of criminalizing doctors who provide gender affirming care?
Yes, because I just don't think it's right. I don't think that they should be trying to turn people into people they're not. I think adults, that's perfectly fine for, but it's like alcohol, joining the military, you have to be a certain age to do all those things, and I think that there should be a certain age for that.
Okay, so you think 18, when people turn 18, magically they should be able to, so you don't think parents should be able to consent to medical procedures for their children?
I think the child needs to have full awareness of what's going to happen because of the permanent change.
And you think that doesn't happen currently?
I think that there should be legal age for it, and I do believe that age should be 18.
Well, that's different than what you just said. You just said like the minor child should be fully aware of what's happening. So, but that's not what you actually want. Instead, you want parents. Hold on, Otto. I just want to get a confirmation from you. Then you believe that parents should not have final say over their children's medical decisions. Yes or no?
Auto bailed.
Otto, if you disconnected, call back. If you left because you couldn't handle the heat, then I don't know what to tell you. But Otto bailed, chat. Can we get some rest in peace Ottos in the chat? R.I.P. Otto. R.I.P. It's too hard to say goodbye to yesterday.
If you use Zoom, you can put it on the musician setting where the latency is like accounted for, and we can synchronize, we can harmonize.
If we did Zoom and did the latency thing, there's a low latency mode on vMix itself. You can turn on the latency mode, right?
But it ain't that low. I don't think it's that low, but maybe.
I haven't
they
tried
have
using
a musicians mode for people to play together on Zoom that they developed back during COVID. You see, Elise Stefanik is not running for governor anymore of New York and is not going to run for re-election as a representative.
No.
So it's like, what the fuck is she going to do?
Did you see one of Mondani's cabinet members, one of his staff already bowed out because the anti-Semitic tweets showed up from a couple years ago. So they were like, all right, I'm resigning.
Wait, one of Mamdani's guys was anti-Semitic?
A staff member of his, she got her Twitter got like sorted through and somebody found a couple of anti-Semitic tweets. I don't think one of them was anti-Semitic at all. One of them was just mentioning that there was an Orthodox Jewish person outside of wherever protesting against Palestine, and she didn't like that. I don't think that's anti-Semitic. The other's a little anti-Semitic, but then she was like, what did she say? She said, because now she has 2 Jewish kids. So she was like, yeah, this makes me feel like shit because I have Jewish children and I spoke like that. So she resigned. And I'm like, I don't know, purity testing from the left. I'm like, what right winger is ever going to resign because some anti-Semitic tweets come out?
I'm never going to resign because I love every now and then whenever people try to cancel me, I'm literally like, oh, what? You guys are uncovering the shit I told you existed? Like, wow, it's way worse than this. Like, yeah. Just wait until you guys hear how I talked on Xbox when I was 21.
Oh,
let's just say Jovan and I would not be friends.
Jimmy would have been dropping N-bombs in the COD lobby more than he was dropping nukes.
Battlefield, but yeah. It was
I was a Halo kid.
As a young Wyoming libertarian, I think it is important that we take back that word because the only reason that word's a problem is because we give it power. And so it's important that I consult with no black people and saying that we have to participate in removing the power from that word. That would have been my justification. MAGA, where you at? Call in. MAGA, call in. Whoa.
You can blame it on me.
MAGA, call in.
I never got a nuke in Call of Duty. That's depressing. I used to spam nukes. BB.
The only good Call of Duty game was the one that the only nuke was at the end at Nuketown. What was that old? You know what I'm talking about? Battlefield, the old one. And there was a map called Nuketown. That was the only Call of Duty game I liked.
Nuketown has
get a nuke.
Jimmy, I don't know how to break this news to you. Nuketown has been in every Call of Duty game since Black Ops 1. So this doesn't tell me anything.
Well, that's dumb.
Nuketown is always in the rotation. They always bring it back in some way, shape, or form.
I'm thinking like 2011.
You're probably talking about Black Ops 1. I'm just saying Nuketown has been in literally every single game.
All of them.
Neville's Tim said, I'm just going to start throwing MAGA stuff up on the board through VMix Social until we get some MAGA. By the way, if you want to support the stream, remember to sub on Twitch, become a member on YouTube, do all that good stuff. Neville Tim said, thank God that Donald Trump is our president. Neville Tim confirmed likes pedophiles. Confirmed. Crazy. Couldn't be me.
Bruh, you know who's not looking so good? Bill Gates. I don't know. I'm giving a lot of side eye to Bill Gates. And this is after already knowing that is why Melinda left him. She did not like his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. So
I think you guys should all specifically at Neville Tim and ask him why he supports a PDF. Why he supports a PDF file.
Ow. Thank you. Looking fine as fuck. That ass though. Oh no, I wasn't muted.
Sorry.
Boy. She's so fun. I was gonna say girl, and now I just accidentally said boy. But it was supposed to be in the like, boy.
Here we go again.
You got me all fucked up.
Shit.
Not again.
Here we go again. Jimmy dropping the racial epitaphs here in chat.
Okay, I just think though that it should be allowed under the following condition.
Oh, they dropped a bunch of pictures.
Guys?
They dropped a bunch of pictures from one of the Clinton trips.
Yeah, we knew that was going to happen, that they would make those as easy to find as possible.
Dude, they redacted so much. U.S.
Hundreds of
Deputy
pages in a
Attorney
row in some
General
instances
Blanche.
of the whole page redacted.
Yeah. U.S. Deputy Attorney General Blanche tells Congress in a letter that the Justice Department discovered more than 1,200 victims and their families during a review of Epstein documents. But, you know, the real issue
is it's the Trump administration, so they probably consider Trump one of the victims.
He's actually 1,100 of those 1,200. I think it's very interesting to me seeing MAGA's response, especially on Threads. Threads, MAGA is doing everything they can to basically be like, the Epstein files were a big flop against Trump, but damning to Clinton. Yes, it's very much a flop when you redact all of the information about your guy.
Yeah, no shit. And not even redact. They're still redacting. They still have not. They have broken. Donald Trump has had the opportunity to release the Epstein files. All he did until he could not anymore was block it and threaten people who supported it and called it a hoax. How you can sit there and act like he isn't obviously in the files and that the files are going to get him in trouble. And then now they haven't released all of the files. They've been redacting since March. They haven't followed the letter of the law or the spirit of the law. How you can sit there and actually be like, this is good for Trump. Shut the actual fuck up. If this was anybody else, you would be demanding Obama or Biden or anyone be impeached because clearly the guy would be a pedophile at that point.
The Guardian is saying it's about 90% of what they've released. 90% of it was redacted.
So yeah, it's a cover up. They didn't release the Epstein files. And they have several 100,000 more pages to not release, is what they announced this morning. Todd Blanche was like, yeah, we've got a few 100,000 more pages you'll get in the coming weeks. The law did not say start today. It said incompletion by this date.
Yeah.
Or by 1 month, and that was today.
Jimmy, just keep an eye on Calling Studio. I got to go handle the kitten.
Yep. I got you. Keeping an eye. I'm also playing Pokemon, people. I'm going to be honest here. Because MAGA's not going to call in. They know they can't defend their guy on this one. MAGA knows. Like, that's why you guys aren't calling, is you can't. You know you can't. You know you've lost. You know Donald Trump is shit. You know that he is not fixing affordability. You know that all the bullshit he was saying the other night when his address to the nation, and it is the Democrats' fault. It is not the Republicans' fault. They are demanding that the premiums go up. I own every branch of government, but the Democrats are why your health care is going up. You know you can't defend it. It's indefensible. You know he is indefensible. You have no defense of Trump, and that's why you're not calling in. It's easy to call in. Number's right there, 219-327-8005. But you won't because you cannot. Because you are incapable of defending it. Otherwise, you would call in. Donald Trump is so obviously a terrible president and a terrible person. And I can take it on either of those angles. If you want to omit all of the ways in which he's a bad guy, we can talk about how he's a bad president. Of course, you probably would want to do that. Because the number one way that he's obviously a bad guy is he protects pedophiles. He makes the life of pedophiles more comfortable. I wonder why that is. It's almost like I might pass policies to make the life of bearded woodworkers more comfortable. I might use my presidential power to help out bearded woodworkers. Maybe that's why. Donald Trump is garbage president, and you can't defend him. You can't defend MAGA. You can't defend conservatism. You know, this is the funny thing too. Like a lot of Republicans know capitalism, the only reason that they are supporting it anymore is it's going to fuck the people they hate sooner, and they're hoping they'll be dead by the time it fucks them. You guys know capitalism's done. You know it's cooked. You know our only chance forward is socialism. And that's why you're not calling into debate, because you know you have no good argument to defend this shit anymore. You know that you've removed regulations and you have invited corporations to rape our planet. You have invited corporations to rape its citizens, our people, to replace them with AI. You have absolutely fucked up this entire situation, and you can't defend it. You know capitalism is cooked. You know republicanism is cooked. A lot of which one?
Rape.
Oh yeah. Well, sometimes it's inappropriate. Sometimes the term is necessary. Because there just wouldn't be a word that adequately encapsulates what has been done to us. The absolute.
Alex 0203, thank you for being a resubscriber for 1 month of tier 1 over on Twitch. I think it's like right now, it's just so interesting to see all these MAGA people just utterly because here's the thing. They love socialism. They love it so much. When their billionaire friends get consistent bail, they always be like, well, why should my money go to bailing other people out of poverty when it goes to bailing millionaires out of failing constantly? Yeah. No, there not a single airline should technically be running right now. If we want to be so for real here. Sis Naruto, thank you for resubscribing 2 months of tier 1. Thank you so much. So like, it's always so funny to me. Now, MAGA, here's my question for MAGA. How do you defend Donald Trump meeting a 14-year-old girl? If Donald Trump supposedly didn't know, you're telling me he didn't know that Epstein was doing with that 14-year-old girl?
He likes girls a little on the younger side.
Amelia, thank you for the $25 Cash App, said because conservatives are cowards. Well, actually, you said they're scared bitches, so let me not paraphrase for you. I agree. Conservatives are scared little bitches. They refuse to engage. And listen, if you call in and you're like, listen, I want to have a moderated conversation with you or Jimmy. Pick which one of us. The other one will moderate. Super easy.
I don't know how to moderate.
You know how to moderate a debate?
No.
Wasn't like your job?
I don't like moderators. I think they get in the way. I like timers. I'd be fine with having a debate where it's like structured timers. You get 5, they get 5, you get 5, they get 5. And maybe somebody there to enforce that.
A moderator is just there. Yeah, that's all a moderator should be there for, is to make sure that you don't speak when it's not your turn.
Yeah.
Or to force you to clarify something, maybe.
If you do a town hall style, like to introduce the question that a person asked would be good. But otherwise, I'm not a moderator fan. I think they actually ruin a lot of debates. I'm starting to sound like JD Vance. I was told we would not be fact checking.
I was told there would be no math. What, Jimmy? What the fuck do I want to eat? What do I want to order from?
Pussy. Oh, I don't know. If you just ask, what do you want to eat? What were you expecting?
God damn. Like a Uber Eats pick, dog.
Dude, look at how fucking Frady MAGA like consistently calls when you go live late, but tonight on the night of the Epstein files, they're silent.
Mm-hmm.
Like, be so real, people. We know why you're not here.
I'm gonna read some of YouTube chat. Confetti Cake Mix said MAGA doesn't want fetuses aborted because they want more victims. That's crazy. Yeah. We got some bottles for MAGA in the chat. If MAGA in the chat is scared, post some baby bottles in the chat. Here's some baby bottle emotes.
You guys need your milkies?
Did you see Erica Kirk said she was going to endorse JD Vance for 2028?
Yeah, that's kind of old news. I don't know why they're recovering it, but we already knew this.
Oh, yeah. I mean, she has to endorse her lover. Like, what? Obviously.
Oh, man.
You
I
get
hope
so few
she,
conservative
calls
/
the
MAGA
bluff.
callers at night because they're busy at their Klan meetings. I actually usually get plenty at night. For some reason, Jimmy's here right now, so they're scared.
Yeah. 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 No, the cross burnings are all done on Zoom now. They're at home.
Do you think Candace Owens and Kirk had an affair? No. I don't think Kirk would touch a black woman that way.
There is a weird, like, there's something that I don't know how to be the one to say. I don't think I'm allowed to, but somebody's got to like point out, because people think that it is proof that Stephen Miller and JD Vance aren't racist because they have brown wives. And it's literally like, guys, you realize how stupid that is. Whether you are racist, is not determined by whether or not you will make an exception to your racism for someone who will touch your pee-pee. Ask all of the soldiers who did what they did in Vietnam whether or not they withheld affection for Vietnamese women when the shore leave came up. Not to get too fucking dark here, but let's do it. I don't know. It's a very silly defense. They can't be racist. Now, I gotta say, in the case of Stephen Miller, I have to imagine Katie is aware he is fully racist. But in watching her defend him, she strikes me as there are certain conditions a person can have and like personality disorders they can have. And one of the ones that I'm not going to say the name of because people then will get upset and be like, that's the one I have. I'm being misrepresented. Blah, 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 blah. But it's one that's marked by like really manipulative, terrible people. And one of the things they'll do when they get into a relationship is they will basically become a kind of clone of the partner, usually to like seek their approval and stuff. They'll give up their personality and they'll just weirdly parrot and just be very much a clone of this other person. Okay, there's when Jovan gets back, there's another caller who desperately does not want to actually defend Donald Trump like the rest of the callers. Anyway, so she fully, seeing her recently try to defend him on CNN, like even down to mannerisms, despite clearly having a different cultural upbringing, has adopted his personality, and it's wildly unpleasant. Wildly unpleasant. You think MAGA's not here because they're busy reading the files? When did they learn to read? Like, I mean, come on, guys. Come on. Come on around the man. Donald Trump today also tries to take some victory laps and then gets to the part where the press is supposed to ask questions like, and I'm not going to be taking any questions today because there's no way those questions will meet the moment of all the great things I just did. I am not taking any questions, frankly. Questions are gay. Gay questions, I'm not taking them. I'm not gay. I might be, though. Who knows? Maybe that's what all my problem is. Dude, Stephen Miller looks like a lot of... Gollum is a good one, but he looks like a lot of fucking weirdos.
Dude, did you see the South Park finale?
Not yet. Don't spoil it. No spoilers.
Oh, dude, you're missing out.
Are you caught up on Pluribus?
Nope. I've been watching Lucifer.
Today's episode was pristine. The season finale is next Friday.
Has it hit better than... Okay, do you like the first season of Pluribus more than you like the first season of Breaking Bad?
I don't think so, but it's very good. There's a thing about... Okay, so
we have
Breaking
a debate,
Bad
by the
is
way.
like...
But go
like
finish
a
this and we'll take
cinematic
it.
masterpiece in a lot of ways. Yeah, the character building, like artistically, it's incredible. There is something about this Like there's a lot of time travel movies out there, but I wouldn't say like time travel is like the best topic because whenever I watch them, then I think about what I would do with time travel. But the fact that like the proposition of pluribus is so good that that has replaced my nightly exercise of falling asleep, imagining what I would do if I woke up. My nightly exercise while I'm going to bed is to imagine what I would do if I woke up in my like younger self at different ages or with different conditions, time traveling. But now, right now, it's actually what would I do if I found myself in essentially the main character's position in pluribus.
Mm.
And turns out I'm not that good of a person, first of all, just so everybody knows. I'm not going to go into further detail than that, but it turns out I have flaws. But, you know, it is what it is. By the way, I'm wearing my monad, my Zerba monad. Be not Zerbfraid. Sure. All right. We can talk to once again a person who's going to not call in about anything substantive or important and something that affects a very small percentage of people, but they have made their entire personality because they wouldn't actually be able to advocate for an actual side and political position based on anything besides their common sense kindergarten cop level. This is what a boy is, and this is what a girl is. But anyway, let's go ahead.
All right. Well,
hey, while you do that, I'm going to go ahead and just chop my fucking foot off.
All right. Coming up to the show next, we have Jay. Jay thinks that trans men and women are not men and women, and that the definition of woman should only be adult human female. So let's find out why. Jay, if you can hear me, please provide me your age and pronouns.
Yeah, 19, he, him.
Okay, 19, he, him. Now, Jay, you said the definition of woman is adult human female. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Why?
Because like women have to be adults, right? Because like if they weren't adults, they would be girls. Women have to be human because gender is a social construct that only affects humans, right? Directly related to sex. And like female is just gonna
go for a
like
walk.
Female is just gonna be like how we categorize like people.
Yeah, wait, you didn't tell me why this has to be the definition.
Yeah, I'm like I've never been on here before. Like I haven't gathered my thoughts. Can you ask the question again? I'm sorry.
Yeah, why does that have to be the definition?
I mean, personally, I just think it's the definition that like that makes the most sense, and it's not like exclusionary.
It's absolutely exclusionary.
No, it's not. It includes like if all I mean, it would exclude people who are male, right?
No, let's find out. So you said the definition is adult human female. So in order to be in order to be a woman, you must be an adult human female. What is a female?
A female would be over denoting to the sex that produces large gametes.
Sure. What does denoting mean?
Like an indication.
Mm-hmm. So just to indicate to that sex. You don't actually have to be that sex. You just have to indicate that sex.
Yeah.
So by that definition, there are plenty of trans women that would be considered female because they would indicate to that sex.
Well, no, they wouldn't.
Why not?
Because we have oh wait, hold on. I'm getting a phone call. Give me like 1 second.
Did he just ask me to wait?
Okay, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, my bad. What was the question you just asked?
Yeah, why wouldn't trans women denote female?
Because they don't they don't have the reproductive capabilities.
They don't need to.
Right.
That would be the people in the definition who are of that sex. We're talking about the people that denote that sex.
I mean, yeah, but you can't indicate to
Like, you can't denote to the production of large gametes without having
What?
like,
If I have a sign for a bathroom that looks like a woman, is this not denoting female?
what?
Does this not denote that females would use this bathroom? Right? But that sign doesn't have a uterus. You're saying they would need the uterus. However,
Wait.
we've already covered this. The uterus would be the of.
The sign is hold on. The sign is not like the sign isn't a person though.
It doesn't have to be. It denotes that these people would go here. It denotes the people.
Wait,
That's
but
what
you said
denote
the sign-
means. What does denote? I'm just going to ask it again. What does denote mean?
An indication of something.
Go
Right.
type in the definition into Google real quick.
Okay. Google, be a sign of or indicate.
There you go. Thank you.
Right,
So
that's
all
what I
you
just
have to
said.
do to denote something is to be a sign of it or to indicate it. You don't have to be that thing, correct?
No, that's just saying like people who don't produce large gametes would still have like they would still have like other parts that would allow them to denote to being female. Like if they develop on a Mullerian pathway. There's like they can be born without like certain parts. Hello?
All right, my bad. My bad, chat. I had to step up for a second. Yeah, no, there was nobody denoting this call. Sorry. Yeah, no, you just have the idea of what denoting something is wrong.
How?
Because to denote something doesn't mean you are that thing.
Denoting.
Hate to tell you.
Yeah, the word denote, like used here, is like denoting the production of large gametes. So,
Yes. Nope. Of or denoting, meaning you either are of the sex that produces this. It's not denoting the gametes. It's the sex that produces the gametes. Or you denote the sex that produces the gametes, which means you would be a sign or indication of that sex. Not that you are that sex, because you're not of the sex. You're just denoting it.
I think that's weird.
It's weird that I'm reading the definition word for word and telling you what those words mean.
No, I'm just saying like that's not how I interpret it, right? Because
I know that's yes, because you're interpreting it wrong.
No, but like you would be including males. That doesn't make any sense.
Do males denote that sex? How so?
Because you're saying like if you don't need to be of the sex of female,
Correct.
that
You
means
just
that-
need to denote it, which is essentially
Yeah,
the
that means-
definition saying all you have to do is look like this sex. That's all the definition is saying.
Yes,
You just have to be a sign or indication of it.
That makes no sense.
Yes, some males would denote female, yes.
But they're not female.
They don't have to be because they're denoting it. There is the of. They're not the of, they're the denoting. Why do you think the definition says or denoting? Here, let me ask you a question. A woman who doesn't have a uterus, like she gets her uterus removed, is she still of the sex?
Yeah, because she was already a woman.
No. But is she still of the sex? What if she's born without a uterus? Is she still of that sex? Yes. You got to learn how these words work. It says denoting for a reason. Of or denoting. So you either are that sex, that's what of would be, or all you do is you indicate to that sex. So per your own definition, trans women would be women.
I'm sorry, I'm like not following.
I genuinely don't know how to make it any clearer. Of or denoting is pretty clear. It's pretty straightforward.
Has Jay told you why he gives a shit?
No, not yet.
Jay, why do you give a shit what other people do?
I don't know. It's not about what they do. Like, I don't care about it like in a practical sense. Just like understanding the terms, right? Because there's not gonna be any way to like enforce laws. Like, I think that's dumb. But I think people should understand like how to use these words properly, because otherwise they have no meaning.
But you don't
but
understand
why
the terms.
is your opinion on how the word woman should be used more important than the people, for example, going through the experience of being women despite being born male? Or or even if you don't, if you want to ignore them and just go, I don't want to just take their word for it. Like, why are you ignoring that there are actual experts in these fields? There are actual psychologists and psychiatrists, and that this is actually a branch of study. Like, why do you actually give a fuck? And why is this the thing people call in to debate on? Like, you don't care about these people. You avoid them. You see them as freaks. It's not like you just don't like them, but they're not a part of your lives. These aren't your friends. These aren't people you give a shit about. So let's debate about something you actually give a fuck about, like healthcare.
What? I just said that, like, I'm not going to be like anti-trans or like pro-anti-trans legislation, right? Because I think that's stupid. I'm just saying, like, it's important to understand how these words work.
Great. Well, words evolve. And as we've understood the existence of trans people, again, people you're probably never interacting with anyway, or will very rarely interact with, we understand that this term, to actually be inclusive, should also include those people who are having that experience. Otherwise, we'd have to create a new category of words, and you guys would complain about that too.
I mean, that would
Jay,
honestly
are you
make
MAGA?
more sense. Other than like, huh?
Yes, you would love to do that because you know that you would like the new type of language that is more othering and will make them feel even less normal, welcome, and accepted. That's the motivation for brand new categories of words when we already have these words where we're categorizing people by gender, men and women.
I never said any of that.
I know.
Jimmy's making an
need you
inference
to.
off of the way you've engaged in the conversation so far.
Okay, bro. Okay, bro. What was the other question?
Are you MAGA?
Huh? No.
What are you? Who'd you vote for last year?
I voted for Harris.
Okay.
Like what?
I just want to know why you don't know what the word denote means. It's just real frustrating.
How do you feel about Bo and Yang leaving SNL?
Huh?
I'm more interested in this topic. How do you feel about Bo and Yang? He's kind of abruptly leaving SNL. They announced it last night. This Saturday's episode is his last episode.
I'm not into SNL. I don't know anything about that.
But you know, Bo and Yang is like a queer icon.
Okay.
Yeah. Jay, you gay?
What the fuck are these questions? Can we get on topic?
But are you gay though?
I refuse the question.
Okay.
Can you like? Okay, so help.
Do you like
me
long
understand.
walks in the park?
Yeah, I do like to walk.
Gay.
Huh?
I just can't bring myself to care about literally the Epstein. Donald Trump has violated the law and has been preventing the release of the Epstein files. His DOJ is now failing to actually release them, breaking the law. There will be no consequences. And we're here sitting talking to a 19-year-old about whether or not it's cool that somebody wants to be called a woman because they have the experience of womanhood. And by the way, they have the negative experiences too. They're experiencing sexism and misogyny and all that fucking shit. And it's not like they're getting a ladder up by being accepted as women. In many ways, they're being shit on more. And let's be clear. trans women are the people that these people actually give a shit about. Like nobody's ever had a problem for a long time seeing like a butch lesbian as one of the guys. If anything, they started transing people who weren't even trans back in the day mentally. Like, oh, my super butch lesbian friend's just one of the dudes. So Jay, I just don't care. Who cares if you think that that's how the terms are used? Why should we care what you think, Jay? Where does your expertise in the usage of words come from?
Okay, bro. I guess I don't have it. I was about to ask, like, since I'm misunderstanding, can you help me understand?
Yes, I will help you understand. What you need to understand is that your inklings and your experience is not the inklings and experience of other people. And you should allow other people the freedom to do what makes them happy in as much as it doesn't cause harm to other people. And so if a person asks you to respect them as a woman, just do it and move the fuck on.
Like I'm never gonna tell somebody, like, to their face or over the phone or whatever, that they're not what they say they are, right? But like,
no, but you're gonna call into a show where like 1,000 people are watching, a bunch of which are trans, and you're gonna tell them that way.
Like, I'm just interested. I'm just interested in truth, right? Like, I'm not trying
but
to.
You're not, Jay, because when I point it, here's the thing. You're not interested in truth, because when I point out to you the truth in the wording of the definition you use, you rejected it. You went, yeah, but that's not what denoting means, even though it's 100% what denoting means.
Do you have any gay friends?
Yeah, I do.
Let's say your flaming gay friend that right now you understand to be a man, but he's like one of those, you know what I'm talking? Like, hello, enters the room, one of those gays, comes to you and is like, Jay, I'm fucking devastated right now. I don't know what to do because I've realized I'm not actually a gay man, I'm a woman. What are you going to say to that friend? Can that friend rely on you as a safe space to explore those feelings?
I mean, yeah, like, I don't care if anybody's trans, right? And if they would like,
what are you going to tell that friend?
Well, I mean, I don't think my friend is like that anyway, because he's like
Great. What would you tell that friend? It's a hypothetical.
Oh yeah, I would be like, that's cool. Like, let's figure it out.
And would you try to push them in the direction you want them to be? Would you try to make sure that they always give you an exception? So if they ask you then, will you start using she, her pronouns? Will you start calling me by my lady name when we're by ourselves because I'm not ready to do that to the public? You'll do it?
I just said, like, I'm not gonna go out of my way to disrespect people. I think that's dumb. Right.
But Jay, are you going to support them?
Wait, I just want to point out what you're doing right now is a version of disrespecting them. Right now, like literally this.
Arguing about where, like, I just feel like arguing about words mean like is going to be different, right?
How?
Like, people, like, especially like people I don't know, like, even it's like regardless of who anybody is, right? Like, I'm not gonna do that to people, right? It's called people what they want to be called, right? But like, I'm like, what? Even then, I'm still interested in like the proper meanings of these words, right?
Jay, if you're like, I'll call a trans person what they want to their face, but secretly I think they're lying, like, that's fucked up.
I mean, like, 8% of my chat says that they are MAGA. Why aren't you guys calling in to defend your boy? We're not MAGA. We are leftist. We are atheists. We are anti-theists. We are social. I'm a socialist. Jovan's a communist. When are y'all gonna call in and defend your boy?
I don't know.
But like, so is there any actual harm being done if I don't say anything, right?
Jay, yes, because you
If you wanna
called
be
us.
privately
That's the
bigoted,
harm.
Sure.
You called us.
You can be
No,
privately bigoted.
in this scenario where my friend is trans,
Where he
and
didn't call.
I'm like respectful, right? As any normal person would be, right? Because I'm not disrespectful, right? Even if.
All right, Jay, I will put your mind at ease. If a bigot tree falls in the forest and there is no leftist there to hear it, it didn't make a sound.
What the fuck are we talking about?
Keep your bigotry to yourself. If you can't get past it, respect people, and that's all anybody gives a shit about. Legitimately, I don't care if the GOP comes around and is like, trans people are cool. I care that they come around to, it's not really any of my fucking business, and I don't actually fucking care, so I'm just gonna fuck the fuck off. And I'm gonna leave it the fuck alone. Who gives a fucking shit? Let them do what they want to do. Nobody's gonna make me fuck any of them. No one's gonna make me kiss any of them. Let them go live their goddamn lives. And so keep your bigotry to yourself. Try and keep educating yourself to be better. You know, this could have all been handled by Google, this little conversation here today, but whatever, it is what it is. It's already happened. And when your bigotry falls in the woods, don't let it make a sound. Make sure nobody hears it. You know, only speak your bigotry into your pillow.
I looked it up on Google, and I got the definition, adult human female. Like, I looked up what is female mean.
Go to r/trans.
Huh?
Try to remember what the good subreddit for trans
I
education is.
Like
watch the Transatlantic Call-In show.
Just really quick, all jokes aside, like everything aside, Jay, the issue that I have is you were given new information to correct the information you had, and you just doubled down.
No, but it's like,
yeah,
but it's like I'm also confused at the same time. I'm not
True.
like fully getting what you're saying, right?
What is to get? Denote just means you have to signal this thing. All you have to do is you have to kind of look like this thing, and then you denote it.
Do you have a source?
On what the word denote means? Yes, it's the definition you read.
Oh my God.
Wait. Type in denote in Google again. Look at the definition. Hold on. Look at the definition and look at the examples it gives you of sentences.
This mark denotes purity and quality.
The mark isn't purity or quality, right? It just denotes that thing. It just signals that this is what it means. That's all denote means. You don't have to be the thing. In fact, you aren't the thing. Otherwise, you would be of the thing. I don't know why this is so confusing.
Wait, so then what would purity and quality like? Okay, so the mark is not purity and quality, but it can still be that thing because of denotation. Like that. What? Then what is like purity and quality even mean then? Like I
think I'm gonna blow my brains out. Hey, what you said? It's adult human female, right? What is the like? When is a thing? When is a person an adult?
Like I would recognize an adult as someone like when they're 18.
What magically happens when you're 18 that makes you an adult?
Like the law considers you an adult.
So nothing specific. So actually, a woman in America would not be the same as a woman in Thailand, for example, where the age of majority is 20. So you'd actually be a 19-year-old girl, not a 19-year-old woman. In Thailand, in America, you'd be a 19-year-old woman. Is that correct?
I mean, you know what? I guess like I low-key agree with like Thailand more on that. Now that you said
okay,
that.
fine, but you said it's when you're an adult. You said it's when you're an adult. Do you have an objective marker that makes you an adult or not?
I mean, not really, but it's
Algeria says 19, South Korea says 19, New Zealand's 20, UAE is 21. So there's literally flexibility due to cultural understanding of when adulthood is achieved. And by the way, for the most part, it's kind of given away with the phrase age of majority, though I'm sure somebody's semantically going to be very pedantic in my comments about what I'm saying, but I'm choosing to accept it as this way. Like, you're picking basically adulthood as the year where more than 50% of the people who have reached that year will have the quality of an adult. So you'd list out what those things are, and then you would estimate based on cultural understandings when more than, but that'll mean that some number at 18 in the 40% will actually not have those yet. So actually, like, even that number, it's going to be like, there are going to be people listed as adults who, if you tried to make it an objective standard, won't qualify. And then you have the freaks and weirdos who think it's like for women as soon as they've had a period. Those fucking weirdos. Yeah. And so even right now, the concept, the strictness of who is a woman, you have this term adult, an adult human female. You have this term adult that has flexibility in it according to the cultural way that can be changed, even though you could potentially propose an objective standard, but the objective standard, probably the closest one, would be sexual maturity, and that would be the creepiest one. That would be the worst one. So we don't do that because we've decided intellectual maturity is more important. So there's flexibility in adult. There's even flexibility really in human, since human is everything of the Homo species. And I have a feeling if you saw a Homo erectus walk up and give you the side eye, that you wouldn't be sitting there like, oh, why don't you come take care of my Homo erectus? I think you would be not feeling like that person so much of a woman. And so even human, there is a cultural flexibility and understanding. So neither of the other two terms have an objective adherence, but female, y'all pretend there's just zero flexibility. So you can't even reach the perfection to not be a denote. You can't even reach the perfection on the other two, and yet you want it on this thing.
Okay, so if you're saying those words aren't objective, then what's the point of them, right? Like, why are we just making up words to be flexible?
Jay,
no, Jay. If
that's just how language works.
If you're saying, counter my point, tell me how there aren't objective. Tell me how the word woman has an objective status of adult, when I literally just read to you the ages of adulthood for other cultures that are different than ours.
I'm granting you that, right? So if these words are not objective, then what is the point of them?
To use them in the way in which they are useful. Words are our servants. They are not our masters. Usefulness would be the term's purpose.
Damn, that was kind of good.
You got wrecked? I feel
no, I didn't.
Sometimes
no, I'm not.
Sometimes I have a good moment. It's few and far between.
All right, we're gonna move on now, Jay.
Okay, fine.
Oh God, couldn't even wait to gulp.
Jimmy was not having it.
Bruh.
Look at the.
Take care of my Homo erectus. It's pretty good though. Oh my fucking God, no. Okay, at least the name is, you know what? That one at least is a little bit more interesting because at least it's not a dude.
We'll do that. We're gonna do the one under that one first.
Later.
I think we're gonna do that one first. Before we move on to the other one. So coming up next, we have Charles. Now, Charles thinks Christianity, possibly. Charles thinks Christianity is true, and the reason why is because a bunch of people smarter than him said that there's evidence. So let's find out. Charles, if you can hear me, please provide me your age and pronouns.
30, and I don't have pronouns because I'm a man.
Sorry, can you say that sentence for me one more time?
Because I'm a man.
I do not have pronouns because I don't operate that way. But anyway,
Charles, hold on. You keep using a pronoun to tell me you don't have pronouns. Can you tell me you don't have pronouns without using a pronoun?
All right. Your caller said we were going to focus on Christianity, not pronouns.
Well,
so what do you want to focus on?
We're going to focus on the question that you refused to answer, which is a rule of the show. So I'll ask the question again.
Okay.
What are your pronouns?
All right. I do not use pronouns.
You just use pronouns. You just used one.
Charles, can I call you
Okay,
Chuck?
dude. Okay, he, him. Just to
There
make
we
it feel
go,
better. He,
damn.
him. How about that?
Hell yeah.
Minute of my life.
Can
I'm
I call
good
you
with
Chuck?
So, number one. Do you guys believe
Can
in
I call you
policing
Chuck?
thought? Do you guys believe that people can have their own independent thoughts that don't necessarily agree or align with yours?
Duh.
Can, of course, obviously.
Okay, so if someone doesn't believe in for instance, using pronouns, or that men can be women or women
Yeah.
can be men, if someone believes
Chuck,
that in their soul and in their mind,
Chuck,
is it your job to change their thought?
Chuck,
Is
I have no.
is that your
Yes.
goal on your mission?
Chuck,
to actually change their thought?
Chuck. I have no issue with somebody not using pronouns. If they say they don't use pronouns, great. Just like don't use pronouns when you tell me that, because then obviously either one of two things is happening: you're lying or you're ignorant of what pronouns are.
Well, they're talking about an ideological reason of not using pronouns. You're talking about a grammatical usage.
But
so
Chuck,
you're not
you do
coming at
use
it from the
pronouns.
same
You
point.
do use pronouns, though. You said you don't, but you do.
I know, but
Chuck,
okay, but you're coming at it in a cheeky,
Chuck,
like
Chuck,
grammatical way, not in the truest.
Chuckles. Chuck, can I ask you a question?
Okay, all right, guys. All right.
Since we're talking about
you guys,
other people's rules, hang on. Chuck.
Fucking fat cop over here.
Chuck.
Crash
Neither
out
of us
so
know what
early.
a
Go
fat
ahead.
cop is.
Ask
I'm
your
definitely
question.
fat. All right, Chuck. If you're coming into my house and you don't believe in taking off your shoes, but the rules in my house are take your shoes off, which one do you do?
I know, but are you going to
Do you
make
take your
your
shoes
house
off?
the whole country? Are you going to make your house the entire fucking US of A? Okay, like, are you
Nope.
just? Is
My
it
house
just
is
gonna
the
be your house?
stream.
Because you're
Chuck,
trying to
this is
change
such a-
laws.
This is such a stupid question. This is such a stupid question. No, I'm not. No one, not a single serious leftist, liberal, anybody has proposed a law by which you must use a person's pronouns, even in
They're
polite
doing it
society.
in the UK.
Whether
They're
you
They
are
literally
aren't.
doing
going
it in
to,
the UK, and
No,
it's
they're
only
not.
going to
No,
be
there
5 years
isn't.
till
No,
they
they
do it
aren't.
here, dude.
No,
What
they're
are you
not.
talking about?
There's no
No,
law
they
in the
aren't.
UK.
no, you are
Trust me.
completely
Give
mistaken.
it 5 months,
If
bro. They're already
Chuck,
policing.
hey,
fucking-
Chuck,
Okay,
Chuck,
all right. So you guys already.
Chuck,
So he
okay,
so he
hold on,
admits
hold on. Give me a
you
second.
admit there's not a
give me
law, and you
second.
say just trust me, it'll happen in 5 months. Okay, let's make a bet. Let's make a bet that the law will happen in 5 months, Chuck. How much do you want to
Okay,
put on
all
it?
right,
How much
so
money do you want to
as
put down?
As a ground rule, you guys are not down for policing thought. Like that's just like a basic. You guys are not down for that.
Bro, unlike a Republican, unlike a MAGA, I actually believe in free speech and freedom of belief for all that shit.
Okay, all right. So that's cool. I agree. I don't think that it's efficient or even possible to police thought. But moving on. Okay, you guys believe Christianity is not a true religion. What do you think is the true religion?
None of them.
None. Religion being
atheist,
religion by definition being no, atheism is not a religion. Religion is by definition a system of worship pointed toward a deity. Atheism can't be a religion because there's no deity and there's no worship. So I don't accept any religion as true.
You sound like me talking about pronouns right now, bro.
I'm just using
you
words
get how
correctly.
freaking hypocritical this is right here? Like, you sound
That
like
we
me talking
don't
about pronouns.
believe in
Anyway,
any
all right.
deity. Wait. Is there a deity that Jimmy or I worship?
I love that you think
Probably
that
yourselves.
because you have a dumb position
answer that
on
question, though.
pronouns, that if we insist that any word has a meaning, we're hypocrites. So what words am I just supposed to say?
You want to flip it back on your caller so badly, but you don't come at people in good faith. You twist things around. It's weird. It's really weird. Okay.
Frog.
You don't know what good faith is.
Okay, we're gonna focus on Christianity. Okay, so
Sure.
So me, you, and this. There's 3 guys on this. There's 3 he/hims on this line right now. Okay, and I'm telling you, there are fucking a million bajillion people that have lived before us that are smarter and have invested more time into the topic, and they came away from the idea that, like, hey, Christianity is real. Jesus Christ was a real person. He is the Son of God. And I'm just like, have you not delved into it?
What's an argument from authority?
I'm glad those people were wrong.
Hey, what's an argument from authority? Chuck, what's an argument from authority?
What do you mean? Like, authority is not just like regular people.
No. What is an argument from authority? Do you know what a logical fallacy is?
Okay, define
It's okay if
your
you don't. I
authority.
don't mind
Like,
filling you in.
Where's the authority coming from?
No. Okay. It's I promise you, I'm not trying to gotcha. A lot of people who debate know what these terms
please,
are.
yeah.
It's fine that you don't. So what I'm describing is there are things called logical fallacies, and essentially they are
I hear this word thrown around all the time on podcasts.
Great.
It doesn't mean anything.
Excellent.
Dude. Logical fallacy.
I'm going to explain it to you. I'm going to.
Tell me what it means.
Great. I'm going to explain. Thank you. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
A logical fallacy. Very, goodness sakes. Very simply is a pattern of reasoning that is flawed. And there are different types of logical fallacies. One of them, and a lot of them start with argument
from
or argument
is a logical
of.
Fallacy. If by that definition,
Great, which one?
Your stance on pronouns is a logical fallacy.
Which one? Great, which one? Which logical fallacy is it?
Okay, define. Say what you just said.
So Charles,
say verbatim, right again.
So Charles, now I'm going to complete my thought, since you're trying to like jump in and you think you can do a gotcha. You don't know what logical fallacies are, but you now know that I for sure performed a logical fallacy. One of the logical fallacies is called an argument from authority. And it essentially is, instead of actually giving proof of Christianity, it is you saying it's true because such and such authority, and the authority can be categorized in many different ways. You can say, because this scientist said so, or these people say so. You have performed an argument from authority because you are saying that we should give up the argument because some authoritative power of, I think you said millions and billions or something like that. You said some crazy number of people.
When
excuse me, I'm not done. I am not done. Chuck, I am not fucking done. I am explaining. I've muted you because you don't get it. I'm not done. An argument from authority is basically telling us to give up because some authority disagrees. You're not actually giving proof. And that's what you're avoiding right now. You aren't ready to present proof Christianity is true, only to say some person we should accept as an authority has says it's true. And it is fallacious because lots of people, for example, Isaac Newton believed in Christianity. But it's not true because Isaac Newton believed in it. Isaac Newton also believed in alchemy, and alchemy isn't true. And you find this categorically with the authorities that people try to point to, that they often have lots of beliefs that also weren't true. Now we will unmute you, Charles. I have completed my thought.
Okay. All right. Two things. Let's first. My first question is very short, and then we'll go into the proof. Okay. So, do you ascribe the same type of like foolery and jokery to people like indigenous people who talk about having contact with their ancestral spirit? Do you ascribe the same amount of
correct?
Mimicry
I have anytime a person who has an indigenous religion has called me and said that they believe theirs is true, I have told them that I do not believe that their religion is true and that they cannot prove that it is true.
Do you do the fake liberal shit where you respect them more than a Christian though? Like, or do you just make fools of all of us who believe in a higher power?
Excuse me. First of all, I'm not a liberal, and second of all, it entirely has to do with the respect that I receive. I could have a person call in being who believes in the dumbest shit ever, and if they are respectful and let me complete my thoughts, for example, they receive the respect back.
Dude, you're operating on like an 8-second delay. It's fucking very difficult, okay?
I think that if your point was strong, you wouldn't have had to have... Excuse me, I'm not done. I think if your point was strong, you wouldn't have had to rely on hyperbole to make it.
Anyway, okay, all right. So the second thing is the proofs. Okay, so we've had record evidence to show that the Pontius Pilate was a real person. We know that all the apostles were real people. They historically, textually, factually gave all their lives.
Great, Chuck. Let me save you some time. I can save you some time here. If you prove to me that Jesus... Yeah, you're right. I am cutting you off because we're wasting time here. I'm fine with that. I'm fine. Great, I'm going to mute you. I'm going to mute you again because we're going to save time here. I'm fine with accepting, even for the sake of argument, I have no problem accepting that Jesus was a living human being. I have no problem accepting that Pontius Pilate existed. Even the apostles, even though the evidence you think exists for all of them is much less than it actually exists. But I'm fine with going, great. I still don't believe that Jesus, any more than Joseph Smith or Muhammad, were the people they said they were. There you go, Charles.
Okay, but Joseph Smith and neither Muhammad healed people, healed the sick and the blind. Christ
and I don't believe Jesus did either. People reported that Joseph Smith and Muhammad did both of those things, and I don't believe any of the three of them did.
You just unbeat me, so do I get to talk now?
Sometimes, if you don't say dumb stuff, but if you say something, I'm going to respond to it.
So Muhammad did not heal people. Joseph Smith did not heal people. You're asking for
Joseph Smith is reported to have healed people. According to who? According to who did Joseph Smith not heal people?
Just going to be, hey, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. That's not a debate. That's just you shouting down the people.
No. Sure. Okay, great. Charles, great. Fine. Joseph Smith, Mormons claim Joseph Smith healed people. Muslims claim Muhammad healed people. So you're right. I won't just say I won't believe that. I will give you the same response I would give to them as I will give to you for Jesus. Prove Jesus healed anyone.
Okay. Muslims nor Mormons believe that Joseph Smith or Muhammad healed anybody. That's not they don't.
Sir, I am a Mormon, so you are wrong. My entire family. I literally grew up with this religion. I'm technically still a Mormon, even though I'm an atheist.
That explains it.
You are 100%.
That fucking explains it.
You are 100%.
Okay.
You are 100%
I'm
wrong.
not a Mormon.
I'm not done. You are 100% wrong about what Mormons and Muslims claim about Muhammad and about Joseph Smith. And by the way, subsequent Mormon prophets, it doesn't explain anything except for why I know that you are wrong about the claims you are making, because you ignorantly claim knowledge that you do not have and just hope that you survive fact-checking, or just fact-checking never happens.
Yo, chat, there's nothing more that this guy likes to say than you are wrong.
Chat.
There's nothing more that this guy likes to say than you are wrong. You are wrong, right? You love saying it.
There seems to be nothing you love to be more than wrong.
Okay. All right. So,
can we just reset? Can we just reset? Charles, please just provide us evidence that Jesus did any of this, please. God damn.
Yeah, I'm waiting. Prove Jesus healed a single person.
2,000 years, you don't have things like evidence become like impossible to hold with your hands. Like you're
great.
You're going back 2,000
Great. Thank you for acknowledging
years,
that.
dude.
So we don't have. Great. So you will say you don't have proof Jesus healed anybody.
Wait,
so
Jimmy,
why should I accept that Jesus could heal anyone?
Wait, Jimmy, are you ready for this?
The Bible has been.
Who says it?
The Bible
Who says
says
it?
lots of
Who says it specifically in the Bible? Who says it?
Are you going to give me fucking 5 seconds to talk? Are you going to give me 20 seconds to talk? Or are you just going to keep talking?
God damn, dude. You've been talking for so long.
Are you going to give him 80 seconds to talk? Are you going to give him 400 seconds to talk? Are you going to give him 10,000 seconds to talk?
This is your style, guys, because this is a shitty show. This is your style. Just to talk
Charles,
I just want to debate you.
Charles, I just want to point something out. Me and Jimmy are like we do this for a job. Like this is our job. Debating is our job.
Suck at it. This is your job.
Charles,
terrible, dude.
Charles, I need you, Charles, I need you to have some level of impulse control and house training. Okay, listen to me really quickly right now.
Any impulse control.
Charles, okay, I muted you because you don't have house training. Listen to me really quickly, Charles. While you're on mute, I want you to just listen. Don't listen to respond, because you're not going to get a chance to respond until I'm fully done. You have done nothing but use logically inconsistent arguments since you got in here. So me and Jimmy aren't taking you seriously because you haven't even attempted to provide a serious argument. I will let you provide an argument for your claim uninterrupted, but I need a syllogism from you. Now, I only ask syllogisms of people that are not great at this. So I need a premise 1, a premise 2, and a conclusion. Here's a syllogism for me and Jimmy's side. 1, we know it as a fact that people cannot heal people with magic. 2, there is no physical evidence or written down evidence of anyone who has been healed by Jesus' magic. 3, conclusion, Jesus never healed anyone with magic. Now, if you can provide a syllogism for your side, we will engage in that syllogism and break down your argument. But that's what I need from you if you want to continue this conversation. Now you're unmuted.
I think, okay, so to be a person that is religious or to ascribe to one faith or the other, you do have to suspend some level of disbelief, okay? Faith, that's why they call it faith, is because you do have to have faith in it, all right? And then when we talk about historical
You've proven
things,
our claims.
the same can be, okay,
Thank you.
I talking or are you guys going to
Thank you for the
talk all over me
concession.
again?
No, thank you for the thank you for the concession that there is not proof that God existed and that no one
That's not
who
what I'm
believed,
saying.
like the
Yeah,
authorities
you're
you gave
reading into what
before,
I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. Okay,
did
so
not believe based on
are you gonna let
facts,
me
but
talk?
based on in fact
literally,
faith.
all your thing is just talking over people.
Well, I mean, I asked you to provide a syllogism and then you didn't do it, Charles.
Excuse me. By the way, Chuck, what you just said was so fucking no, stop, Chuck.
Understand the
Chuck,
framework of a
Chuck,
fucking religious
that is
mind.
that is not what you just said is not true. Those are not the only tools I have. I also hang up on people while they're talking when they're douchebags.
Okay. All I'm trying to do is.
Why'd he fall for it?
They always do. They always do.
Why'd he fall for it? At this point, I have hundreds of calls out there. You can literally see that we had a great call the other day with somebody who was fully wrong on so much stuff, but he came with respect, so he got respect back. This dude, to be interrupted every time I speak, mid-sentence, by the way, and then blaming it on the delay. You can't say it's the delay when I'm continuing to talk and you've begun talking over me, responding to a word you heard in the beginning of the sentence without any of its context prior. So you can't blame it on the delay in that scenario.
I also want to point out, there is a level of interrupting that I'm okay with. If you're interrupting, like let's say you give me a framework of an argument and I start to go and I'm getting your framework wrong. Oh, hey, Jovan, let me interrupt you right there. That's not my framework. Easy interrupt. If you're interrupting because I'm giving out factually incorrect information, totally fine with that interrupt. But when you're interrupting just to say something completely unrelated to what we're talking about, nah.
I liked how many times you tried to just interrupt me, even explaining to him what an argument from authority was, to try and then bring it back to trans stuff that he didn't understand. And if you're going to say, by the few words you've said so far, I know what this is, and therefore I'm going to tell you, like, be so real, get the fuck out of here.
I was going to ask him, I was going to go, Chuck, can a man be a woman? And then when he says no, I was going to say, okay, Chuck, can a virgin give birth? Can a man walk on water? Can a man heal lepers? Can a man return from dead?
That could backfire because people would be like, you, Jovan and Jimmy literally don't believe any of that. And so are we now saying you guys don't believe?
Well, I also don't believe that men are turning into women. That's just what they believe.
That's true. That's fair. In a young girl's heart.
I want for once a Christian to realize that when they say the phrase, you got to have faith, man. So I can't really give you evidence that they've conceded the debate.
I asked Charles many times whether he was okay by going with Chuck, and he also never. Chuck is the normal. That's like calling me Jimmy instead of James.
Yeah, you had me saying it
whatever.
too.
Though, don't call me James. Yeah. If the caller had at one point literally said, "I don't want to be called Chuck," we would have taken it away. Chuck was me trying to be nice. Like, hey, this is our informal. Like, we're buds. Can I call you Chuck? All right, I guess we can do another trans call.
You can take a breather if you want.
Nah, I'm good.
Jimmy's like, God, I can't believe we have to do this. I'm gonna be here till I ordered Waffle House. So I'm waiting for the absolute peak of deliciousness to get here. You guys don't understand how much I love Waffle House.
I got a sirloin soaking in salt right now.
Not as good as Waffle House.
I cook a pretty good sirloin. Pretty good at it.
The kitten will not sleep tonight, by the way. That's why I have to keep getting up. Anyway, next up to the show, we have Stacy. Now, Stacy says that trans men and women are not men and women because of science and genitalia. So let's see how Stacy breaks this down. Stacy, if you can hear me, please provide me your age and pronouns.
My age is 48, and my pronouns would be he, him.
Damn it! I thought Stacy was going to be a lady.
And well, see, Stacy's a great example of Stacy's a great example of why we ask for pronouns. Just want to throw that out there.
God damn it! So we're just talking to another. Hey, Stacy, are you white?
Absolutely.
Are you heterosexual?
Of course.
All right, let's talk to this.
Of course.
Are you trans?
No.
All right. Well, let's for a twist, guys, let's hear a cis het white guy's opinion on trans issues. To stir up the night. Stacy, how's your mom?
She's doing pretty good. I took
she got it going
energy. Stacy, we also can barely hear you, so you've got to speak up.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I did want to thank you guys because I appreciate your points of view. I might disagree with them, but I do appreciate intelligent conversation. And the last caller, God bless him, I think he was a little unhinged. But
God bless him is crazy.
Stacy, would you find it disrespectful if for the whole song, if for the whole time you're talking, if behind you I went dun 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 dun?
I might get a little annoyed by it.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I don't believe. I believe you can have discourse and conversation, but you have to have a level of respect.
I think your phone might be transitioning to a beeper right now. Some crazy shit was just going on. Was that just on my end, or did
you hear that? I hear you guys.
No, you're just real quiet. Like Stacy, you're so. Okay. I'm gonna try to raise your volume.
I was receiving crazy audio though. I was crazy.
Here.
I was hearing.
I can do this, guys. Can you hear me now?
He sounded like
we can hear you way better now.
Okay, cool. Well, let's do this. Okay, sorry about that. No, what I was going to say is just like previously. Well, you saw the subject matter that I called about, but I thought it was fascinating listening to the last conversation because if you don't mind me making a small point, there's no way that I expect. First of all, I don't consider myself worthy to be called a Christian, but I believe in Christianity. There's no way I ever in a million years dream of convincing anyone else to believe in Christianity. It's a personal choice.
Then why are you convinced? Why are you convinced of Christianity? And and real quick, give us the reasons that are good enough to convince you, and then explain to us why you don't think it's good enough to convince others.
Jimmy would absolutely rather talk to you about Christianity than trans people, by the way.
Sure. No, that's
for
cool.
a million years.
Okay. Well, the main reason for me personally is because it's a personal experience. It's not one thing. It's over, I don't know, basically a lifetime. I've tried to disprove it. But in my mind, there's just been little things. Some would call it coincidence. Some would call it just fate. Some would call it karma. You can call it whatever you want to. And I just choose to call it a higher power. And it's not one thing. It's just like I respect somebody that goes, I don't believe in any of that shit. I don't get it. I think it's bullshit. Cool with me, man. I'm not a Christian. I don't.
Do you believe in Islam?
Believe Christ to make somebody else a believer. I just believe in when somebody goes, well, prove to me. There's nothing I can say or do that would ever prove to you. And there's nothing that you can say that would ever prove to me. It's just a matter of,
I don't agree.
You have your belief. But you
I don't agree. I don't agree with what you just said. I absolutely think that if you had adequate proof, I could be convinced. So if what you're saying is you can never convince me because there isn't good proof, that'd be one thing.
I'm sorry.
Well, I think do you believe non-believers are going to hell?
Well, me personally, I don't. And here's why. I believe in a different, really, it goes out of Christianity even. Like my mom, for example, my mom is from a very strict sect of Christianity called Church of Christ. And they have a very strict, like, well, you're a Mormon, you said, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I had a friend that was a Mormon. He explained over a few years, I never asked him. It just kind of came up. And he explained some things about Mormon, being a Mormon. And I did not necessarily, I'd never heard of anything like that, but I was open to it. The whole point was he wasn't trying to convince me why I needed to become a Mormon. And I wasn't trying to convince him why he shouldn't be a Mormon. It's just, there was a level
That's
of
fine
respect.
that those are your values. Here are the reasons why I want to convince you to not be a Christian, because right now your Christianity is likely influencing the way you vote, the way you treat people, and the things you prioritize as important, like, for example, trying to oppress or in any way affect the experience of trans people, queer people, in general. And so I think that you will actually be a better person and that the world will be better if you stop being a Christian. And because of my love of people broadly, I think it is very important to disillusion people of incorrect beliefs. Just like I think it is important for a Muslim to stop being Muslim, a Mormon to stop being Mormon, I think it is important for you to stop being Christian.
And that's your personal belief. That won't change anything.
Great.
That's your personal belief.
I
but
disagree.
Here's the thing: you become very presumptuous. You become very presumptuous when you say you're going to vote this way, you're going to feel this way, you're going to suppress. I've worked with trans people. I never had a problem with them. I mean,
yes, you did.
I mean, for over 4 years. Seriously.
You literally told the screener your problem with trans people, and you to sit there and go, I have these beliefs that I'm not articulating, but they aren't affecting my actions at all, is unreasonable to accept as true. People don't separate themselves that much. If you're saying you never overtly punch them, that's not what we're talking about. But there's a lot of things that people don't even recognize that they're doing. Republicans hate the terms because then we start talking about things like microaggressions and shit like that you don't even realize you're doing, and it's making people's lives worse.
About my experience, if you let me, with the trans person I worked with, I never.
I'm sure that the version of the story that you're going to give will be perfect.
No, this was not my BFF. This was somebody I worked with and respected. I could care less if he was, had the persona of a woman. That didn't bother me. But if you're asking me to say, hey,
so you just said I have no problem. You just said I have no problem. You just said I have no problem with trans people, and you just were trying to articulate to us that you don't do anything harmful just because of your beliefs, and that I was being presumptuous. And yet, here on this call, you have rejected an identifier of a person that you're saying you were respectful of, despite the fact that it does nothing to you to call your trans woman friend a she. You're fine if you do that. And it would make trans people feel more comfortable around you, and would make trans people feel like, look, even if Stacy, you just said she was a trans woman and then referred to her as a he on this call, because my ears work and I heard you call her a he. That's how I know.
Can I finish? He is a male.
She is a woman.
She that was out of respect.
A woman.
Okay, you tell me I don't respect the person.
Calling her the wrong pronoun is not out of respect.
You're telling me at my core. So you're trying to convince me that you're right, and I'm trying to convince you that neither one of us have to be right. You can believe you're right. I can believe I'm right, but you can't change the life experience I had with a trans person. It was a dude. She, out of respect, I called her she. As a person.
So just so you know, as you're sitting here and trying to convince me how respectful you are, you just referred to a trans person as an it also. So you're sitting here and occasionally you're switching to he, and then you just a moment ago called a human being an it. Yeah, you definitely respect these people as people.
Hey, you know what? You really don't know anything about me, but I've learned a whole lot about you.
Stacy, I know exactly what I'm learning on this conversation.
Open up a dialogue.
Stacy,
Can I finish?
Stacy, you just said I don't know anything about you, as though I have not been talking to you for 10 minutes and I haven't been able to learn things about you from the words that you are saying.
You wouldn't be saying what you're saying. You're telling me that
I know that you called a trans person by the pronouns they don't want to be called, and then you called them an it.
The only way to respect, in your view, a trans person is to acknowledge them for what they claim to be, no matter what the science says is different. That person has a penis.
The science, first of all, excuse me, the science is on trans people's side. What you think is science
it has a penis, it is
not
male.
science.
Science, it has a vagina,
that is not
a woman.
That literally is not the definition of a.
Because they have a penis.
So
they cannot.
Great. So since you can't control yourself, Stacy, I have muted you to explain this to you. The scientific definition of a woman doesn't exist. Because woman is not a scientific term. Male and female are, and you aren't even getting those correct. The definition of a male is not simply an individual with a penis. And female is not an individual with a womb. But sex and gender already aren't the same thing. Fundamentally, you don't understand sex anyway. Because guess what? There are people with XX chromosomes born with penises and XY chromosomes born with vaginas. But that wouldn't matter anyway, whether all of that shit is true, because the science says you can still have the experience of being a woman despite being a male. They are social categories. You saying the science is, and then using a definition that is non-scientific, if you're going to do that, you're going to need to cite me the research that has achieved consensus that says a man is that which has a penis. Now you are unmuted, Stacy, for this boring fucking I don't know goddamn shit about trans call.
Okay, well, anyway, so what I was saying is a man and a woman or female, that's fine, we can say female. A female has a vagina.
Or they're different.
A male will never have
Incorrect. Incorrect.
And a
there
male
are literally, excuse me.
Have that one.
Now, I'm going to mute you again to respond. There are male and man are not the same term. They are different things. And what you just said is a male will never have a vagina. There are males, people with XY chromosomes whose SRY gene never expresses and other conditions as well, who are literally born with vaginas. So even trying to switch it to a scientific argument and trying to equate males and men, you have failed and committed a number of fallacies. This one being equivocation.
Anyway. Have you unmuted me now?
Anyway. Yes, I have.
Have you unmuted me? Can I speak now?
Yes.
Okay, great. A male has a penis and can never be a woman because scientifically it cannot give birth. It does not have a womb. It's that simple.
Incorrect.
A male has a what?
Incorrect.
XY chromosome. And a female has a XX chromosome. And
you have been incorrect from the onset, and you just said that a male has an XY chromosome. All right, Stacy, I'm bored. You don't know any of the science. Wait. Actually, Stacy, where did you digest this science?
Are you telling me that a male with a penis is not a male?
Stacy.
It is a male.
Stacy. Stacy, where did you learn? Stacy, where did you learn the science?
You can't dispute the fact that a.
Yeah, I already have disputed. You weren't listening. Stacy, where did you learn the science? From what book, academy, institution did you get what you keep calling the science? I'm unmuting you now.
Okay.
That's the only question I need to answer.
A male has a penis and a female.
Nope. Okay, muting you again because you did not answer my question. From where did you get this scientific understanding? For example, if I tell you ice melts at negative 50 degrees Fahrenheit, that's the science. And you ask me, where'd you get that from? I'd be revealed to be an ignoramus because that isn't true. And I'd have to go nowhere. But if I tell you correctly that ice melts at above 0 degrees Celsius, I could cite for you a number of places I can get that scientific knowledge. So I'm asking you, where did you get your scientific understanding that there has never been a male born with a vagina?
I'm not saying that there's never been what they call them, where they're born with both genitalias.
Where did you get your scientific education? And that wasn't what I said. Where did you get your scientific education?
Are we talking about basic biology, like in junior high?
Junior high school textbooks are not going to teach you what you just said at all.
No, I'm going to teach you that a man is a male. And
all right, I got bored and I hung up. You can keep eating. Bill in Tennessee is calling in to debate Christianity and is not going to resort to just not understanding trans issues.
I have to hit record. I have to hit record, Jimmy. Start over.
Okay. Bill in Tennessee, you are on the line with Jimmy and Jovan, or on Jovan's channel with Jimmy and Jovan. Bill, how old are you?
What's going on, man? I am 37 years old.
And your pronouns?
And what are your pronouns?
I'm a he.
Excellent. We'll put you in as a he, him, if that's acceptable to you. All right.
It is.
You want to debate Christianity. My position is that Christianity is untrue for the same reason that all religions are untrue, and that is that no God exists. Christianity itself can be disproven beyond that, even if you accepted a position of deism. But I would just be simple. I would just simply say, not only is there not evidence for the existence of a God, there's plenty of evidence that humankind invented gods the way they invented dragons and wizards and the like. What say you, Bill?
Yeah, man. First of all, I love mythology. I think there's a lot of, like you talked about, what comes out of the mind of a person, their creativity. I think really, I honestly think a lot of the Bible is a lot of people's creativity. And I would say most of the Bible is not the words of God from an Orthodox Christian perspective. It's the words of man and their perspective of God. I think that's the most biblically
I would
genuine,
agree that all of the words came from people, for sure.
Okay, sure. Yeah, no, I got you. So first of all, let me just kind of state my baseline. I do consider myself a Christian. I do believe in a higher power. I do not believe that it's very similar to what most people believe within Christianity. It would be more akin to something in the lines like what you would think of if you heard somebody is like just a hippie and they just believe in like a higher power and this is like this energy in the world. I do believe that what the Bible talks about, that it actually says that God has never been seen ever before and no one can see God. I believe that there's this background energy and power and life-sustaining essence that is what I call God. And so it is.
So who
different.
do you believe
and
Jesus
I do believe
Christ
that,
was? I have a couple of speed questions before we get to the meat. Who was Jesus Christ in your belief system?
Jesus Christ is a guy, a man. Christ is not God in the flesh.
So you don't, you consider yourself a Christian, you like his philosophy, but you don't believe like he died for our sins and we're redeemed and can get to heaven because of all that or anything?
Not necessarily. So I do so like what you mentioned about dying for our sins and that whole thing, the backstory of Scripture of the Bible is this deity that was called God, or Yahweh.
So Messiah. You do believe he's a Messiah, just a separate entity. You're non-Trinitarian, right?
There you go. Great. Yeah. Sorry. I'm glad I don't have to explain.
Thanks. Okay. No, I'm trying to get to the meat. So you're non-Trinitarian, but you do believe he was a messianic force. That's great. Okay.
Yes.
And so you believe that God is sort of this grand entity, the unifying power of the universe. Why?
So I renovate homes for a living. Right now, I'm renovating a home for myself to move into, and there's a lot that goes into it. It's about 100-year-old home, and so there's craftsmanship and design that went into this house already. but I'm putting into it myself a lot of intricate design. I've ripped out all the electrical. I'm putting in all new electrical, all new plumbing. And so from my perspective, you know, and also engineering loads and that whole stuff. So if somebody were to come into my house, say after I'm done, I've invited somebody over and they said something along the lines of, man, it's crazy how these intricate things just build themselves. I would think that's one, offensive to me, but also two, it's a bit bizarre. And because, like, for instance, my wife, she's a primary care doctor.
That's good. No, Bill, you're over-explaining. It's okay. I'm just going to try and keep us on task. Let's take your house and let's put it in the middle of a desert. There's nothing else around, but there's your house. And I come across that house and I go, wow, that's crazy that house randomly just appeared. You would go, obviously that didn't appear. That clearly is designed. How do you know it's designed?
If you're saying if my perspective is that the house was the only thing in existence, because if the house was framed
I'm saying we're in a desert. We're in a desert. We're surrounded by sand. We're surrounded by cactus. We're surrounded by rocks. And then there's the house. And I'm saying I'm looking across this landscape and your house is there. And I go, it's just landscape. All of this is the same thing. And you're like, no, that house was designed. It was built. It was put there. How do you know that?
If we're surrounded by rocks, and those rocks in this particular area had compiled themselves into a form that was useful, I would say that usefulness was either by happenstance or design.
Bill, you're totally misunderstanding. You're totally misunderstanding. The house that I am describing is the exact house you're in. The one you're describing. We're just moving it to the desert. Sand, rocks, cactus, your house. And I go, I don't think there's anything different here. And you go, no, that house definitely had a builder. That house is what's different in this landscape. How do you know it's different than the other stuff?
Within this topic, am I still the builder?
No, you don't have to be the builder.
So somebody else built it. I would just look at the complexity and assume
compared to what? Wait. Compared to what? You would look at the complexity of it compared to the rocks, compared to the sand, in other words, I gave you a whole landscape and you're saying the house stands out as not like the other things.
Actually,
because it is contrasted to that which is around it.
I would actually contest that what's around it is just as complex. That's kind of where my perspective goes. Is the complexity of nature
then you
itself.
Can't say that it's different. If I say everything here, there is no difference. In fact, there would be no way to know. If everything is designed, how would you know if you don't have an example by which to contrast it? The reason why, if you come across a watch on the beach, is because the watch sticks out as something different, as having the qualities of design that the sand doesn't have, that the water doesn't have, that even the little creatures don't have. And I think you're definitely arguing in bad faith right now if you're actually pretending that the reason why you wouldn't recognize that the house is the different in design thing is because that which makes it different from the undesigned things around it. I don't think you're being serious right now. I think you're trying to get ahead of an argument and cut it off.
Well, no, actually, I just agree with you. I think it's a faulty paradigm. It can't be the only thing that I would depend on for faith.
Great. Now, if we're talking about somebody designed stuff, now we can talk about those designs. When you go into your house and you find that you want to get from floor A to floor B, you don't put the bottom of the staircase inside the house and then a doorway that goes to outside of the house, wrap the staircase 3 times around the house, and then have it enter the house itself, because an intelligent designer wouldn't do that. That is an excess. It is inefficient, and you are more intelligent than that. And yet, there are natural processes that might do that sort of thing, because in trying to fix one system, something else that we'll use the word evolved, something else that is adaptable isn't being accounted for. That future efficiency isn't. And by the way, we literally have that. Giraffe necks have a nerve that go from their brain to, I believe it is their larynx, that is 3 inches away. But because when it originally developed in a creature that had a short neck, it went underneath a bone to get there. When the neck elongated, the bone remained. So now that nerve that only needs to travel 3 inches travels 6 to 8 feet down and then 6 to 8 feet back up to run the larynx, even though that is an absurdly terrible and inefficient design. So not only when you're sitting there and saying like everything has design elements in it, in fact, when you look at the things that we're saying contrast to human design, we can find those imperfections that seem to suggest, no, some natural order, some natural selection came and affected this, and this was not intelligent. And so to sit there and go, because a house has a builder, a creature does too, I find to be rather absurd.
Sure. No, I could dig you on that. I would actually say, so like, just so you know, I'm an old Earth creationist. You've probably heard that term before. I do believe that the Earth could be billions of years old and that some aspects of evolution can be seen in what we see around us. Even digression.
Then basically you're saying species. You believe in magic, but you have no proof of it. The natural universe actually covers everything, but you have a warm and fuzzy feeling that it's there anyway.
Actually,
it's kind of like a God of the gaps argument of like everything you do explain with science, I will just accept and then continue to accept any gap as God. And my God will continue to get smaller as the gap does, but I'll never put the God down as long as there's any gap. That's what I'm getting from you, Bill.
I actually am just being honest with you. I'm not denying your points. Like I really do, I really do believe in some amount of evolution. I'm not just fighting with you.
Some amount. What amount
that's
don't
my
you
genuine belief. What's that?
You said some amount. What amount do you not believe in?
Well, first, I'm not a scientist, so actually I couldn't actually speak to how much or how little evidence there is to, like what you just talked about, the giraffe. I would consider that a digression of a species, right? So it's a change. I wouldn't say it's a positive evolution. It's a digression, but I think that is a good point that you brought up. And I'm sure there are plenty.
The overall was a progression of the species because now the giraffe could eat higher from the trees. So this thing that is not an intelligent design, whether you wouldn't call the overall a digression because the species is now still doing better because of the other systems that improved.
Sure. That's a good point. If you don't mind, let me just ask you this. On the earlier caller that you had, kind of one of the points that you dug out with them was how their faith actually was affecting people negatively. And like Islam and other religions in general do the same. Let me say, I don't vote. And it's because of my faith that I don't vote. I don't believe that any earthly person has my best intention in mind. I do trust people well enough in relationships, but I'm not politically involved. I also, as it relates to the supposed laws of God that we would find in Scripture that obviously you don't believe, that I do, I don't consider those things that I should impose on other people. It's my own personal belief. And if God imposes those things, it's in his timing and in his ways, not mine. And so I would say, that being said, is there still something that would remain that you would say is a reason I should leave my faith?
Oh my God, dude, you literally just explained why your belief is super harmful and you don't even realize it. Yes. Your belief system is extremely harmful. What is politics? What are politics? What's that word come from?
I don't know the origins of the word politics.
Okay. Does politics affect the quality of life of human beings?
Yes, I will.
Right, because politicians are making policies, right?
Sure. I personally
and so you just said you're not politically involved because great. You just said you are not politically involved because of your religion, which means that you are not engaging in the process by which you can hope to fight for better equality and better quality of life for other people on the basis of your religion. You saying not even just that you don't vote, but that you're not politically involved is the harm. We are humans. All we have is each other. And you are not, taking literally the minimum thing you could do is vote. There's a lot more political activism you should be doing, and you're avoiding it because of your religion. That is what already makes I thought you were going to try to go with like, I try to vote the way you guys vote. I don't, the only thing I have is faith. Otherwise you wouldn't dislike a single thing about me. You legitimately are a harmful, you are contributing to the planet being worse when you leave, not better. And so this wasn't a difficult point, challenge.
But I would say that my faith in God would have to be left in order to have faith in a human system. And so you're asking me to have faith in one
you
way
are
or the
changing
other.
Wait. That's not what the word faith means.
I do not trust in human systems, and I do not trust either political party that are prominent in the United States right now.
Okay. So great. And so you're asking me why you should leave, because to start trusting, and by the way, I don't even know that that's the right word. Somebody called 2 days ago for comfort, and I told him I have none for you. I think the fascists might win on this thing, but I'm going to spend the rest of my life
of faith than trust.
I'm going to spend the rest of, well, faith has a meaning. And when we're talking about religious, we are talking about essentially the acceptance of a proposition in the absence of proof. Or if you want, you can go read Hebrews 11:1. I think it is. It might be 1:11. Sometimes I mix them up. But the Bible describes it as the belief in things unseen, the context of the word unseen there being literally unproven, that we don't have evidence for it, but we just believe despite not having evidence. There actually is reason to have trust in other people, but I'm not saying just have the wool over your eyes. It should be you vote for the people who are the best option you have, and then you remain politically active to try and affect those people to change in the direction that's best for society.
Why would I trust somebody I've never personally, like a person? Why would I trust a human being that I've never?
Because you don't have another choice. Because you don't have a choice
yes, I do.
To do nothing. No, you don't.
I do. You're just imposing.
Doing nothing does not actually do nothing. By sitting out of the election and not participating in it, you essentially supported whatever the worst choice for humanity is.
Sure. So let me ask you a question.
There isn't actually an absentee option.
What's better? What's better for me to hope in a political party's ability to take care of the homeless, or for me to take somebody who's homeless into my home?
Why would those be mutually exclusive?
Well,
and actually, by the way, better would actually be to participate in the political activism that causes the government to take care of the homeless. Because you taking one homeless person into your home, even 10 if you could fit them, does not do near as much as political action can affect and change.
Do you trust?
So the answer to your question actually is to support. Depends on the politician.
Do you trust any of them?
Depends on the politician.
Oh, okay. Name one that you trust, and tell me the reasons that you trust them.
I have a higher level of trust in Zoran Mamdani because he is consistent, and he basically ran on a platform and as a person that is an extremely risky and like you wouldn't run as that if you weren't actually that.
Okay.
But also, we live in a democratic system where if he fails, and by the way, he's done lots of things that disappoint me, but if he fails, we have actions to remedy it. And I can participate in a system that tries to pressure him and influence him to do the right things when he is doing the wrong thing. This is why I said to my friends who wouldn't vote for Kamala Harris over Gaza, vote for her because she can be bullied, Trump can't. We have at least the potential to affect her with pressure in the right direction, but we don't really have that with Trump. And so this zero-sum game, I could do the same thing. Like, were you going to, fine, go ahead.
I was going to say, do you think if I agreed to say jump back, because I used to vote, if I were to jump back into the political sphere and take your words for it and say, you know what, this guy's got a good point, I'm going to vote. so long as I was voting for people who I at least suspected were going to do good for people in general, right? And I don't really care about other countries at the moment. I think the United States should focus on itself. But if I were going to do that, if I was going to jump back in and start voting, what other reasons would you have for me to leave my faith?
That it isn't true.
Oh, okay. What things could you come up with to tell me that that is untrue about my faith? What's untrue about my faith specifically?
Yeah, there's
not scripture,
there is
but my
zero
faith.
evidence. Excuse me. Okay, I'm getting there. There is zero evidence for the existence of gods, and we have lots and lots of examples of faith definitively getting people to the wrong proposition. So even if we don't talk about what the subject of your faith is, we already can demonstrate that faith is not a pathway to truth. Then when we get to the elements of your faith, we can track back the history of a belief in God, these beliefs in of energies and the like. We can track back from the monotheism that you're doing now through the polytheism, back through animism, and talk about the origins of those things. That's if I want to make the case that it's not true, which I have no problem doing and have no problem claiming. There's also the case that one person can make, which is that you don't have a good reason to believe that it is true, which is equally powerful in my opinion.
Okay. So does this negate any of my personal experience that I've not yet talked about?
Probably, because I doubt that I will believe that your personal experience. I've heard tremendous anecdotes from people of all types of religious experiences, and generally every single one of them has an element of that it's impossible to investigate, it's impossible to repeat, and there are natural explanations that become ultimately much more likely than the supernatural, because zero supernatural explanations have ever been adequately demonstrated to be even possible. Therefore, even the most off-the-wall, crazy-sounding but natural explanation has infinite more likelihood than than a supernatural one does.
Sure. Okay. So in that case, if I were to explain to you, I'm not going to, but if I were to explain to you just 50 different personal experiences, and I would say, hey, those things are reasons for me to have faith. All right. If those things were reasons for me to have faith, what's the difference between that and say a person who identifies as the gender that they were not born as? What makes them different and be like they can choose to identify as something based on feeling and belief, but I can't choose to identify with my faith and choose to hope and believe and trust that it's true.
Great. Bill, so just so you know, at the beginning you laughed at the proposition that you're not going to resort to shitting on trans people to make your point about Christianity. Hey, Bill, how do we tell if a person is depressed or not? By what way do we measure if they are depressed or not?
By what they tell you. So again, my wife is a primary care doctor. She would go off of their personal testimony of life experience and try to diagnose whether they need
why
to
is
see
that?
a specialist.
What is the quality of depression? Is depression a thing that you feel?
Yes, it is.
Correct. So depression is a thing you feel. So is anxiety and so are many things. Guess what? So is gender. So the reason it's different is whether God exists or not has nothing to do with whether you feel he exists or not. And the evidence that you have presented is the evidence for every God possible, meaning that they are contradictory and you wouldn't ever actually be able to establish which God, if any, and it hasn't eliminated the possibility that there are none. You actually have the capacity. You have everything in your genes. You have everything. You literally are talking to me, Bill. No matter what your sex is, you have an X chromosome. You have nipples because you are half of a woman. But everything exists in your DNA that is necessary for you to have the psychological experience of being a woman, of being a man. The physical realities of those things already exist in your genes. So what we're describing is something that's actually naturally and physically possible and not supernatural. You are explaining something that is supernatural. That's the difference.
Sure. No, I got you. What is the difference between male and female versus man and woman? Is there a difference?
Sex and gender.
Okay.
Male is generally a
my wife,
category that you could say is more. Can I finish?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Male would be the term that scientists use. Generally, throughout the animal kingdom, we use much simpler ways to identify people. And for most people, using those simple ways is adequate too. But then the experience of being a male would be what a man is. And the experience of being a female is what a woman is. These aren't perfect definitions, perfect descriptions, but
okay. No,
basically you're getting the broad idea. And then people sometimes have experiences that vary from that. And that might be where you find the non-binary category. That's the difference between males, men, females, women.
Okay. No, I think that's pretty accurate. I would say what I was going to get to was my wife being a primary care physician, and I'm not just trying to like live off of her coattails here. I'm trying to get to a point is she has to, by law, treat people scientifically. So a male, if she were to treat them like a female and prescribe certain medications that affect them like wildly different than the way that it would affect a female, then she could definitely be in a lawsuit pretty quickly. So scientifically, we have to abide by
this is an example. No, you are incorrect, because scientifically, the way she needs to treat them is with respect. So if she is a urologist, for example, and needs to do something with a woman's penis, she can say, "Ma'am, would you please now pull out your penis?" or whatever medical term they may need to use. That's the treatment side of it. Nobody's sitting there saying doctors need to call penises vaginas. Maybe if she wants to take an added level of respect, she could use some other term that might not cause as much dysphoria. "Ma'am, would you please remove your bottoms and expose your genitals," or whatever else, and use even more specific term. But when you're saying treat, it's not the same way we're talking about treating the way society should treat. Obviously, their weight, their size, their height, those sorts of different things. And by the way, there are other things that are true of that. We give different heart medication to black people versus white people. This doesn't make some grand, this doesn't make some great. And as a society, we should treat white and black people with respect and the same, even though doctors sometimes have to treat them differently.
Yeah, no, that was
the same is true of trans people.
So I agree with you. Actually wholeheartedly.
Then why did you try to bastardize trans people in your example of why your faith is acceptable?
Well, I did. So until you gave me a really adequate reason to believe that it is a different category of topic.
Okay, all right. I didn't realize you were acknowledging that I was... Okay, I thought you were still like going down your thing. You're basically saying you had made this mistake before. I've adequately explained it to you.
Absolutely.
That's fine. I apologize. I thought you were still... I didn't realize you had taken it on board.
I'm very open to being corrected, and which is part of the reason I wanted to jump on the debate.
My bad. It's been a night, and I really have to pee.
Okay, all right.
You should get politically active, and if you can't trust any politicians, maybe you should be the politician people can trust.
I do appreciate that. So maybe I will, but I definitely need to go lay down with my wife and kid now. So thank you very much for the conversation this evening and the really wise thoughts. I do appreciate it.
Cool.
All right.
See you, Bill.
All right. What'd I miss?
I think I got through to him a little bit. I think I more got through to him on after laughing at the idea that he was going to resort to trans people. He resorted to trans people. And kind of went with like, why is it harmful for me to believe in a supernatural thing, but it's not harmful for trans people to believe they're a gender that he doesn't believe they are? And apparently by the end I got through to him. I just didn't realize it as quickly as I thought he was still being obstinate, and that's why I backed off. However, yeah, he basically doesn't trust any politicians ever. You can have this one all to yourself, man. I don't. I'm sorry I'm taking the juicy calls, but I don't have. Can I do the intro? Can I get his information real quick and then hand it to you?
Yeah.
Cool.
Go nuts.
All right. tell me when you're ready. Oh, actually, let me check my recording for something real quick. What output did I have it on? I set it to output 2, and external was set to oof. I don't know. Shit, I don't know what I actually recorded. External output 2 should be set to input 3. I think I might have fucked that recording up, but whatever. We'll see what happens. All right, we're gonna bring on. You're recording? We're gonna bring on Ryan from Alaska. Ryan, how old are you, Ryan? Ryan, Alaska, can you hear me? Ryan, with the 727 number. Hello, Ryan, can you hear us? Ryan, won't you please answer, Ryan? Ryan. Come on, Rye guy. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was Rye. Ryan? Ryan, if you can hear, will you just hang up and call right back?
Somebody's there. I hear
myself
something
echoing. Well, it's,
might have fallen
it's
asleep.
me echoing as though I'm on speakerphone.
Straight up might have fallen asleep on speaker. Trans women are women. Ooh.
Your dad is gay.
Donald Trump is bad. Ooh.
And also your dad is gay. I'm going to try to convince sleeping Ryan that his dad's gay. Ryan! Ryan, Angela White is at the front door. Well, I think Ryan fell asleep. Ryan, won't you call back, baby? If you hear me, call back the phone. It is. What's the number? Is that a 2 at the beginning? Hang on.
219.
It is 219-327-8005. Ryan, can you hear us now? Ryan. Should we call back and see? Just be like, hey, we can't hear you.
You want to call back? Yeah.
I think that'd be fine, right? I don't feel like this is a situation where I tend not to call back, but this seems. Yes, it is an intentional Stewie Griffin. This is one of my original reasons I got any attention on YouTube in the first place. Because I could do an adequate. It used to be a better Stewie. Did you drop?
Yeah, I'm calling back.
Oh, we're calling. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was right. Love lift us up where we belong, where the eagles fly.
Ryan? It's not even ringing.
The subscriber you are trying to reach is not available. Please leave your message after the tone.
Ryan, you called in, but then you didn't wait around. What's happened, Ryan? We were really looking forward to talking to you, but I guess the fact that you didn't talk to us means you can see that trans men and women are men and women, and we appreciate that's about you, Ryan. Thank you for supporting the cause. Your dad's gay.
Your dad's gay is crazy.
Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was right.
All right, well, that was all our calls tonight, Jimmy.
Hell yeah.
Didn't get any Epstein ones,
Kim,
friend. I'm so sorry.
To see you in chat. Thank you, Kim. Sapphic Hazard, it's cool to see you. Jaka Noir, Secular Feelinist, Spades.
Oh,
a lot of OGs in the chat.
So
right
real
now.
quick, so that some people know. You guys know how I've been struggling to figure out, okay, how do I get these goddamn toy drive gifts out to people? Well, since every organization I reached out to fucking pussyfooted around and didn't respond to me, what I've done is I created an organization, or at least a little mini thing called Operation Santa Drop here in Florida. And I've sent out a form, and a bunch of families have already filled it out. So I'm going to be driving around this weekend hand delivering presents. So if you want to tip so my gas tank doesn't go on E, Thank you kindly, but I'm going to be driving around this weekend, hand delivering gifts to families because this shit is crazy. I'm trying to give people toys to give out to people and so I'm just going to do it because fuck it.
Do you know the game Password?
Yes.
All right, I've got a word. You ready?
Okay.
Okay. Donald Trump.
I don't know how the game Password is played. I know it exists.
I'm giving you hints. You're guessing the password.
Oh, okay.
So
Got
the
it.
hint is Donald Trump.
Okay.
You're supposed to guess every time I give you a hint. So Donald Trump.
Okay, the hint is Donald Trump. Jeffrey Epstein. Pedophile.
Yeah. Ah! Only took 2 tries. The password is pedophile.
All right, guys. That's it for me and Jimmy. We're going to peace out. Love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow at some point, probably after delivering presents. So love you guys. Have a good rest of your day. Goodbye. See you. Bye. TTFN.
I'm going to pee and not on somebody.
Weird you had to say that. Oh, Taylor, does Jimmy have a Venmo? I don't know.
Hang on, let me
Maybe.
find that. Let me find that shit. Of course.
Oh,
I do.
Amelia, thank you for the $20
no.
cash app for gas for the trip this weekend.
My Venmo is Jimmy A Snow. It stands for Alexander. Jimmy A Snow at Jimmy A Snow. And my Cash App is probably similar. Thanks though. I like Chris. That's great. I won't be offended if you decide to wait a few days. Yeah, Jimmy A Snow is my Cash App too. If you decide to wait a few days and just buy one of my mugs, I won't get as much of the money. Obviously, that's just straight up cash. But what I really want is people to buy these mugs when they're available. Don't play hide and seek with Jesus. Please acknowledge that this is a you kind of want the mug. I know you won't buy one because you don't want me to win.
Maybe I don't get it. I don't get it.
He's looking through his hand hole because Jesus has holes in his hands. Remember?
Okay, now I get it.
So that's why you can't hide from Jesus because he's playing hide and seek. He's like 1, 2. Yeah.
I get it. Now I get it. Yeah.
Well,